part is over for them, but the MLS season goes on. We just got into that. Jen Cease, who is the host of the St. Louis Soccer Report, will be joining us in the show today. All right. So
CONCACAF.
CONCACAF.
What does it stand for?
Great call. Great question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I should know.
I do too. We'll find out.
Yeah. What I don't know is how much I like these tournaments that are in the middle of the year.
I'm not going to lie. This has been the biggest adjustment for me as a sports fan who was never historically an MLS fan, right? I mean, we didn't have an MLS team. Why would I be? I watched the World Cup. Fine. But one of the newest adjustments I've had to make, in addition to calling it a match instead of a game or the pitch instead of the field, is all of these mid-season tournaments where I never know, what are we playing, a regular season game? Is this an international tournament? Is this just a for fun one that they decided to do?
Although I bet if you really wanted to take the time to break it down, it's probably not that different than like college basketball or.
Really?
Yeah.
College basketball has this many?
At the beginning of the year, they have, and now the NBA has a mid-season tournament, but
that's weird.
But college basketball has, it depends. Not everybody participates, but you can be in a Hawaii tournament. There are a couple of them. There's the Maui Invitational. There's one in Honolulu. There's all these early season, like 4-team tournaments or whatever. So, but they're almost like just games on the schedule anyway.
But they don't count toward the regular season.
Right. That's a good point. These MLS games don't, or the soccer games don't.
Yeah.
So whatever. So anyway. But they played last night. They were kind of sloppy. It seemed like passing was it was not, as you would call, crisp. It was not crisp like the weather today. Not a very good night for City SC. So they have played 3 games. We'll see what Jen has to say about it.
Yeah.
Michigan primary last night. Amy, Donald Trump won with 68% of the vote. Nikki Haley gets 26.6% of the vote. Meanwhile, the Democratic primary numbers, we really haven't been paying attention to because it's all just foregone here for the most part. Joe Biden right now, and we are at 99% reporting, 81.1% of the votes. Meanwhile, uncommitted, and this was the number that everybody was paying attention to, because there was a concerted effort, and it was actually coordinated, led by people like Rashida Tlaib, who is protesting.
It was the large groups of Arab Americans that live in Michigan.
Yes, but
massive suburban population of Arab Americans in Michigan. We talked about Rashida Tlaib, the most vocal critic of support for Israel.
She's at the forefront of this effort.
Is a representative from Michigan.
So uncommitted gets 13.3% of the vote. Now, Barack Obama in 2012, he got just over 10%, or he dealt with a 10% uncommitted. There's been a lot of narrative about this going back to yesterday. And the question is, what does it mean? Is this bad news for him that this many uncommitted voters have decided to place a protest vote in this primary? Does it mean anything for the general election? Does it mean that he will lose support enough that Michigan will end up going to former President Trump when he is effectively the nominee in November? I can't wait to talk to John Shaw about this at the bottom of the hour, because Amy, I don't know that it is as big of a deal as what some people are making it out to be.
Well, just to put some numbers to the percentages, which can feel a little hard to grasp. Donald Trump in 2016 won Michigan by 11,000 votes, right? Not a ton. He won Michigan by 11,000 votes. You mentioned the percentage
but Biden won in 2020 by like 150,000.
By 150,000.
Yeah.
But again, that's why Michigan can be unpredictable, because it was a rather shocking victory in 2016 for Donald Trump by 11,000 votes. You mentioned Barack Obama in 2012. He had about 20,000 uncommitted votes. Now we saw Joe Biden, he had more than 101,000 uncommitted votes. So when you're looking at a state like Michigan, I think what Democrats are saying and why they are drawing attention to this is that is not negligible. That's not something that you can ignore if you have concerted efforts from large groups of voters in a state that's a very important state, can be a swing state, saying we are not committed to the incumbent Joe Biden because of his policy on, and in this case, it's the conflict in Israel.
It's not nothing, but I don't think it is everything the way it's being made out because, I mean, you mentioned the raw number of 100,000 compared to Barack Obama dealing with 20,000. That's an 80,000 jump. That's pretty big, right? But the percentage is not. I think the percentage is the important number because there was some pretty big turnout for this one. Joe Biden got 618,000 votes. Uncommitted got just over 100,000, as you mentioned. So if the percentage goes from 10 point something to 13.3, that's a couple percentage points. It's not like it is this massive wave of people who have decided, hey, we are no longer committed to you, and now we'll either sit this one out or vote third party in November. I guess you can paint this however you want, but I would caution people to look at this number and not overreact to it.
And I think the reason why people are overreacting, it's not or reacting to it as much as they are. It's not because of the numbers themselves. It's because of what happened in 2016 with Hillary Clinton thinking that certain votes were in the bag, right? She made what some are calling in CNN like small mistakes that ended up being big mistakes because small number of votes cost her the presidency.
Mhm.
So my guess is they're not looking at the numbers saying these numbers are staggering. They're looking at the numbers and saying we can't make the same mistake that Hillary Clinton made in 2016.
That's totally fair. I think you have to be mindful of all of this, but he's in a very difficult position when it comes to the conflict in Israel because you've got to, or in Gaza, there are Arab Americans who are watching what's happening over there. There are a lot of people, not just Arab Americans, who feel like the response by Israel has gone so far past what it should be, and a lot of innocent people have been killed, and they're upset about it. I'm not entirely sure. There are a couple of different things about this. One, I'm not sure what they think would happen if Trump were president, if their lives would be easier. That's number one. Number two, while we do fund Israel in terms of their military and give them a lot of money, I don't know that we can tell them what to do.
Right.
We can recommend to them what to do, but there's no chance that an American president is going to say, hey, you do what we tell you, or we're not going to fund you any longer. The funding is always going there. That's happening. They're always going to be funded. It's just a question of how much influence does this American president have, or any American president, over what the prime minister in Israel decides to do militarily. They can have recommendations, but if we're looking at this realistically, I don't think they can tell them what they better do. Otherwise, we're pulling the money. I just don't think the pulling of the money is ever going to happen.
Well, and I mean, you mentioned the Arab Americans, and a lot of them in Michigan, led by the cries of Rashida Tlaib saying, we need to stop supporting Israel. This is what Israel needs to do. This is what the United States needs to do. But there's not a correlative pressure on surrounding Arab countries to help out, which is surprising. Remember, Egypt has that passageway from Gaza to at least temporarily provide shelter, provide refugee status to all of these Palestinians in Gaza, and they refused to do that.
Right, but I don't think that's the same thing because we can, our Congress people, our citizens can really only worry about what we are doing, and what we are doing is giving billions to Israel.
But they're also worried about what Israel is doing, right? And
because
I know
we're funding them, right?
But I also think, why is there not the same global pressure on surrounding Arab League nations to help out and take Palestinians even temporarily? Like, again, just looking at a situation that looks impossible. Also, release the hostages. Release the hostages is a big one. Like that, I don't understand how that gets overlooked. And then I know, again, with Gaza and the extent of the tunnels and how much more extensive they were even than Israel initially thought. It's a very, very messy, impossible situation. But right now, we are seeing most of the pressure being put on Israel to just stop. But there's no real solution moving forward. What do you do when another terrorist organization fills the vacuum? How do you get the hostages back there are so many questions.
Well, yeah, there's no question about that. This is and I don't imagine that everything that's happened in the last several months is going to make this situation any better when the fighting stops, when the bombs stop falling, when the bullets stop flying. I don't think we're going to be in a better position, or that part of the world is going to be in a better position, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. That's Amy Marks Cores. I'm Chris Ranji. Hey, tell us what you think. 314-436-7900. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find.
I like this flavored gin, but want something new.
You will love this one.
Wow! You're good.
Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly. B21.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Your gas light's on. We need to fill up.
Gas around here is too expensive.
Don't drive all over searching for the lowest prices. Just download the free Upside app and get cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying gas? I'm stopping now to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up. That's promo code GIFT. Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nice work.
Thanks. Taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas, right?
Yes.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yes. Nugenix is a great way to feel stronger with more energy and endurance. And as Frank says, you'll like it too.
Text ROCK to 369-369 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Text ROCK to 369-369. That's ROCK to 369-369.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at yourheartcomesfirst.com. That's yourheartcomesfirst.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic converting your shoebox of memories into digital files ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait. The risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/value to save 50%. That's legacybox.com/value to get started and save. legacybox.com/value.
We go where you go. 11:20 a.m., 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
We're streaming live on Facebook and on Twitter. You can see us if you go to our Twitter page at Chris Amy KMOX. And if you go to YouTube, the KMOX 1120 page, we're there. And all we've done during this break, Amy is just obsessed with her hair.
So here's
and
the
she
thing.
feels like she needs a little bit of help with it.
Where are Anna and Hannah from the Brett Mega Show? Two lovely girls. They're ladies, they're young women, but like I'm 100 years older than they are. But they always look very put together. And I told Ranj, get a girlfriend. Ranj needs to get a girlfriend because all of his previous girlfriends are very lovely. They have very beautiful girlfriends, and they all have very nice hair. And so if he got a girlfriend, then she could be friends with me and teach me how to do my hair.
Okay.
And get it smooth. And like all the news ladies, they have smooth hair. And Anna and Hannah, when they come in, they have like beautiful waves, but it's smooth. I can't even, if I put my hand in my hair right now, can't get it out.
Okay, so here's the thing, Amy, that you have to realize. This would be like, I don't know, asking Michael Jordan to teach you how to shoot, right? Hey, and MJ would just say, I don't know, I can just do it. I'm just great at it. How can I impart it to you?
On the live stream, and I'm going to blame the lighting, I look very dead. I look very gray.
We do have to do.
I put makeup on. Can you tell?
Can I tell?
Can you tell I have makeup on?
Sure. Yes. No, I was just going to say you're just
like,
naturally beautiful, Amy.
Oh, thank you, Raj. Oh my gosh, he's so proud of that. You guys should have seen how he just swelled with pride like I did a good thing. I did the right thing.
Yeah, I did.
Guys, I put on so much makeup. I put on blush 3 times.
It doesn't. Okay, when I say this, it's a compliment.
Oh, no.
It doesn't look like you've put on makeup.
I put on so
much. Listen.
Listen.
Because it just looks naturally
natural.
Perfect.
Thank you. Well, it's not perfect. It's very gray. Look at him. He's so proud. Here's the thing. I'm not a big makeup person, like the whole like contouring.
That's the point with makeup. It's not supposed to look like you have it on.
But a lot of women know how to do like contouring and shading and eyeshadow. I don't have that. I keep my makeup in a little Ziploc bag, and it's the snack size. You know, the snack size Ziploc bag. And I have
That's really funny.
It's mascara, and then it's
Amy.
some blush because my mom told me in 2016 you need to start wearing blush. You look a little pale.
Wow.
So that's it. And the thing is, like, I don't know. It's like lipstick on a pig. Is that what they say? I don't know.
Yeah, you're okay.
I don't know.
Stop
When I
it.
wear lipstick, it looks
Stop
very
it.
off. But I need Anna and Hannah to come over here. I don't know when their show's over. Is their show over?
I don't know.
If their show is over, I need them to come over here and tell me how to make my hair smooth like the news ladies.
I know when one show ends on this station and when another begins, besides ours.
Yeah.
I know when Total Information is over, and I know when the Dave Glover show starts.
Yep.
So I can't possibly tell you what the rest of the building is doing.
No.
And so, Amy, what I would say is this: don't worry too much about it. The problem is the lighting in this room is awful. It's really bad in here.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at you on the stream and
I
you
look
pale.
stupid.
Yeah. And you don't.
We have
look-
fluorescent lights in here.
Yeah, you don't look that stupid in real life.
I mean, they're not really fluorescent, but they look like it. Anyway,
Ladies, if you have any tips for how to get my hair smooth,
well, for one, you probably have to spend more than 2 minutes on it a day.
first of all, it's true. So I did wash my hair right before I went to bed. You know, like the old school trick?
Yeah.
You wash your hair right before you go to bed so
Sure.
you don't have to wash it the next morning.
Yeah.
I might have to
Rethink
change
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a little smashed.
Well, maybe we should ask the director of the Paul Simon Public Policy Institute at SIU to tell us what he thinks about your hair.
I think so.
John Shaw will talk about the Michigan primary and what it means for the general election, if anything. That's all next on KMOX.
For over 22 years, The Dave Glover Show has been the unrivaled voice of St. Louis. Dave Glover, Rachel Zimmerman, and Kevin Wheeler, with a legacy of fearless commentary, no topic is off the table on this brilliantly unpredictable show. Intelligent and unapologetically outside the political norms. The Dave Glover Show, where entertainment and authenticity collide. Weekdays at 1 on your KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
How much do you worry about your debt?
With over $15,000 I owe, constantly it keeps me awake at night.
Accelerated debt settlement can cut your debt by up to 85% and in as little as 7 to 12 months.
I could be free of debt in no time?
That's right. Other debt settlement companies can take years to negotiate down your debt, but accelerated debt settlement moves fast. Just call 1-877-314-1342.
The sooner I don't have to stress about my debt, the better.
Exactly. In just months, Accelerated Debt Settlement's legal team will negotiate your unsecured debt down 60, 80, even 100%. Your debt from credit cards, student loans, timeshares, medical expenses, and more cut down 60, 80, even 100%. And you'll save thousands of dollars in interest payments.
Finally, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
And a good night's sleep.
Now get free of debt in a year or less with Accelerated Debt Settlement. Just call 1-877-314-1342 and we'll get to work for you. That's 1-877-314-1342. 1-877-314-1342.
McKelvey Homes is celebrating 126 years. Save up to $118,724 on completed market homes. Plus special 2-to-1 buy-down financing with rates starting at 4.495% through our partnership with Groundwork Mortgage. Visit McKelveyHomes.com to learn more.
Our goal at Neovitin is to make supporting your nutrition as easy as possible. That's why we created the Neovitin monthly subscription. Just go to Neovitin.com, choose your multivitamin, sign up, and we will do the rest. You'll receive your Neovitin multivitamin every month with no long-term obligation. You can pause or cancel at any time, and shipping is free. Each Neovitin multivitamin includes our physician-formulated proprietary blend for nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Start supporting your nutrition the easy way with Neovitin multivitamins. Sign up for a Neovitin subscription today at Neovitin.com.
At 10:30, wind and 31 degrees downtown at the Arch. Pope Francis has returned to the Vatican after being taken briefly to a hospital in Rome. The Vatican says he was admitted earlier today for a diagnostic test. The 87-year-old pontiff has been struggling with flu symptoms for the past week. CBS News correspondent Chris Livesay has more from Rome on how it will impact his Easter schedule.
So far, there's no indication of that. In fact, the rest of his schedule looking forward is intact, and that includes Easter, which is, as you can imagine, it's not just a big day, it's a big week. Everything leading up to Easter Sunday is extremely rigorous for the Pope. It's something he takes very seriously. And so far, it looks like there's no reason to be concerned about that.
President Biden is undergoing a physical examination at a military hospital in Maryland. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
It's President Biden's routine yearly medical checkup at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. The results will be closely watched because this is an election year, and he's already the oldest president in U.S. history at 81. After his last physical, doctors said he was vigorous, healthy, and fit, but his age has come up increasingly during the election campaigning.
Some 3,000 unionized workers at Kroger stores in Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia have started voting on whether to go on strike as soon as the end of the week. Sam Harshberger works in Charleston, West Virginia.
And those higher wages shows the membership that they're respected by the company, that they're able to have that livable wage.
Union employees say Kroger's latest contract offer does not provide enough of a raise to keep up with inflation and health care costs. One car involved in a crash on 370 going west at 94. It's got the right lane closed. Some slow-moving road work on 270 south at Ladue. That's in the right lane. And also road work on 6440 west at Timberlake Manor Parkway. That's got the center lane closed. Sunny, blustery, and colder this afternoon with a high of about 40. Real feel temperatures in the teens and 20s. Clear and cold tonight, low 26. For tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 53. At the moment, downtown at the Arch, some wind, 31. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Spring training is here, and it's almost time to embrace the essence of summer and let the soothing tones of Cardinals baseball transport you to warm, sun-soaked days. With the free Odyssey app, relive the joy of tuning in with your transistor radio, now seamlessly connecting you to every St. Louis Cardinals game on KMOX. Wherever your summer takes you, make sure to download the Odyssey app today and savor the sounds of Cardinals baseball. That's AUDACY, redefining your summer soundtrack. Live games available for fans and market only.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side, fighting for every last dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. That's ramp.com/free.
Dive into all things Cardinals on Cardinals Conversations, your go-to location for exclusive content from KMOX. Catch it on the Odyssey app or your favorite podcast platform. Stay connected with your team. Cardinals Conversations, where the Redbird talk never stops.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. The Michigan primary happened yesterday, as you can imagine. Donald Trump wins the Republican primary. Pretty significant amount of votes. Same thing for Joe Biden. We will talk about what all of it means as we go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. John Shaw, the director of the Paul Simon Public Policy Institute at SIU, is with us on KMOX. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
So the thing that everybody has really focused on following the primary, and I guess leading up to it as well, is what this uncommitted number means. President Biden finishes with just over 80% of the vote, 81%. Meanwhile, uncommitted gets 13.3%, and there was the concerted effort by a lot of Arab Americans who live in Michigan to vote against him or vote uncommitted in this protest vote. So the question is, what does that mean in terms of his support as the general election will happen a few months from now?
I think if you're sitting in the White House, you have to be concerned. Biden won Michigan by about 100,000 votes, maybe a little bit more in 2020. And when you have 13% of the Democrats in Michigan say no, not happy, it has to be concerning. Now, I think the White House is heartened that they have 6 or 7, 8 months to reach out to these groups and try to reestablish ties. But again, of course, the issue that animated these people is the war in Gaza. What they believe has been the White House's fairly unnuanced, uncritical support of Israel. So the White House clearly has been trying in recent weeks to pull back Prime Minister Netanyahu, to alter Israel's policy in Gaza. But that is, Prime Minister Netanyahu is not particularly concerned about Joe Biden's political predicament. So I mean, I think that, the administration hopes that the war in Gaza is in a far different phase come November, but they don't have full control or even major control over that. So quick answer is, I think they have to be very concerned by this vote, because that would be enough to, if these people continue, this 13 or 12% continue to be adamant in opposing Biden's policy in Gaza and are willing to sit on their hands in November, that's a huge, huge problem for the White House.
How much then of Biden's comments about hoping for a ceasefire, hoping that things calm down, and a lot of those comments coming on Monday on the eve of the Michigan primary, how much of that approach now is being motivated by the fact that it's an election year versus what he would be saying were he maybe 2 years into a term?
I think both are in play. I mean, I've watched Biden pretty closely over the last, quarter century, and I have reason to believe that he's troubled by the war in Gaza on many, many levels, of course, but particularly I think he's troubled by the fact that Israel does not apparently have the so-called day after strategy in Gaza. I mean, once you've leveled that region, what happens next? So I have every reason to believe that Joe Biden, as a foreign policy analyst, is deeply concerned with Israel's policies, but I think he's also very, very concerned that that his involvement with Prime Minister Netanyahu so far has really alienated him from a core constituency of the Democratic Party, particularly in Michigan and several other states. So I think both factors are in play. I think Biden would be saying this or feeling this in any event, but I think it's particularly intensified by the political situation right now.
John Shaw, director of the Public Policy Institute, the Paul Simon Public Policy Institute, is with us. I want to ask about what you mentioned a moment ago regarding our allyship with Israel and whether or not we have much influence, because a lot of people will say, hey, all you have to do is stop funding them unless they handle this Gaza situation in the way we want them to handle it. Is there even a realistic possibility that the United States would ever say to Israel, hey, all this billions in funding you get for military, you don't get it unless you do it the way we want you to do it? Is that even realistic to do?
I think the history of the last, 6 or 7 decades would say no. I mean, you can occasionally make that threat, typically quietly in private meetings. But I think, Israeli leaders have a pretty clear sense of how American politics works. And they know that any administration is not really going to pull the plug on support of Israel. So America's leverage over Israel is modest, I would say, at best. And it's kind of one of the ironies of history that oftentimes when you have these relationships, it's the power that's less consequential on paper that oftentimes exerts the most influence. And in this case, I think the United States political system has signaled pretty clearly for the last 6 or 7 decades that it's fully supportive of Israel. And I don't think even veiled threats of a substantial reduction in that aid will be something that would be particularly concerning to Prime Minister Netanyahu. I mean, he plays hardball. During the Obama administration, he was overtly going around the administration's back and reaching out to Republicans in Congress and frankly undermining the Obama administration's foreign policy, particularly as it pertained to Iran, and he did it with seeming impunity. So American leverage on Israel is very modest, I believe.
Moving over to the Republican side, Nikki Haley has said that she will stay in the race at least until Super Tuesday, which is March 5th this year. And what do you ascribe her motivation for staying in the race to be the Republican nominee, even though it seems very clear that Trump is running away with it?
Well, I think it's just, I think we need to kind of pull back and realize for many, many months, more than a year, Nikki Haley was running for president, in the shadows of, many other candidates, was being largely ignored. And in the last, month or so, she's on center stage with Donald Trump. And she's had a chance to, lay out her vision of the country and to respond to the Trump candidacy. So she's had center stage and has been given a platform that she was seeking for, more than a year. So it makes sense that at least to play this out until Super Tuesday. At that point, if the numbers are just completely prohibitive, she probably should, recalibrate. But as often has been said, in American politics, people drop out of races largely because they're out of money as opposed to lack of votes. And I think that, up to now, Haley's had enough funding, although there's been recent indications that some big funders are pulling back. So I think, Haley, she's had a stage. I think she's clearly thinking, 4 years down the road, and it wants to use, her time in the sun to establish herself with Republican voters, but also doesn't want to overstay her welcome and be seen as kind of a malcontent. So I think she's going to push hard for the next week or so, and then after Super Tuesday, obviously she's going to have to pull back and do a serious reassessment.
In an interview yesterday evening, she said, and I'm paraphrasing, that maybe it's possible the Republican Party has just moved away from her ideals and now are what Trump's ideals are. Is that the case? Is the Republican Party just no longer what it used to be?
I think that is the case. I mean, I could give you a long and complex answer, but I think that is the case. I mean, Donald Trump has fundamentally transformed the Republican Party, and some of the essential planks of its agenda, he does not subscribe to, and the party leaders have kind of given him a pass, whether that's on fiscal issues or trade or other issues. Donald Trump, I do not think you could really argue is a conservative, certainly in the way that a Ronald Reagan was, or maybe a George W. Bush. So he's shifted the Republican Party in a very big way, and Republican leaders have largely decided to kind of quietly go along. I mean, I'm sure that I know from being a congressional reporter, there's a lot of grumbling behind the scenes, but Republican leaders have decided that the best thing to do is to just go along and hope that at some point this era ends and there can be a recalibration of the party. But right now, this is Donald Trump's Republican Party. There's no doubt about it.
John Shaw, good to talk to you again. We appreciate your information as always.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
John Shaw is the director of the Paul Simon Public Policy Institute at SIUE. He was a congressional reporter for about 20 years or so, I think. Very good stuff. So good information, good insights, and we appreciate it. We also appreciate our next segment every single day when we get to do it. It's called Did You See This? And it's next on KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Are you the best fan in St. Louis baseball? KMOX and Rawlings are going to celebrate you, the loyal fans, all season long. Each week we'll highlight a new fan and prove why St. Louis has the best fans in baseball. Feature weekly fans will pick up a pair of tickets to an upcoming game and $100 to Rawlings. Want to enter? Head to KMOX.com/contest. Just upload a photo of you decked out in your game day attire. The best fans in baseball, presented by KMOX and Rawlings, the mark of a pro.
You're all set with your new Navien water heater.
I can't wait to take a shower without running out of hot water. I'm just going to love my Navien tankless water heater. I just want to say
Oh, no need to say that, ma'am. You'll always love Navien's high efficiency that will save you money on gas bills compared to other water heaters.
I love how I have more space with its wall-hanging design. Please let me say
Nope, sorry, miss. I know you appreciate it, but I can't let you say it.
Why not?
Because with Navien, it's a tankless job.
How long you been waiting to use that?
You'd be surprised.
Find a Navien installer near you at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When Freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Have you ever been sitting around or driving like you're probably doing right now? Man, I think I need a new furnace or an air conditioner. Have you? I mean, I think about you thinking about it all the time. Regardless of what's going on right now with the economy and with these mandates and the prices going absolutely crazy, I would have to say, without a question, the best time to buy is actually right now. No gimmicks, no tricks. 5 years, no interest on a furnace and air conditioner. Get your prices, get your quotes, get your monthly payments, and then call me and buy now to where you can make your choice and you can still get the so-called inefficient models. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, the easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, and your only number, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL Today is named Under Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm. We'll continue to make a difference, one case at a time.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to the practice. He joins Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brasati, and Royer as the Doctors' Doctors. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Download the free Upside app and earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
St. Louis, this is your show.
The show.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Ron, we talked about Wendy's new approach to pricing
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Surge pricing, dynamic pricing,
Let's
and
go.
how Wendy's is going to spend about $20 million switching to digital menu boards, which they say would give them more flexibility to change the display of featured items, aka dynamic pricing capabilities, right? Because you could be in the drive-thru and the price could change. So there has been a ton of feedback or pushback, I will say. And I will the meme culture that has been generated by this Wendy's plan to have dynamic pricing has been on point. But Wendy's did address the pushback that they're facing. A spokesperson said, in a statement, Wendy's said, this was misconstrued in some media reports as an intent to raise prices when demand is highest at our restaurants. We have no plans to do that and would not raise prices when our customers are visiting us the most. Any features we may test in the future would be designed to benefit our customers and restaurant crew members.
So they would lower prices during downtimes.
They didn't say that either.
Oh, well then what the hell are we talking about?
I don't know, because they did confirm that they're going to be doing dynamic pricing. It just sounds like a bunch of hogwash.
Sounds like hooey if you ask me.
Right? Because how do you confirm that you're going to switch to dynamic pricing and then say, but we're doing it to benefit you. We're definitely not going to raise prices.
Well,
we're definitely not investing $20 million into digital menu boards to lose money for your benefit.
You know what? I think we should all just go to Burger King and get the crown.
Do they still have the crowns?
They brought them back in
Nice.
October.
Nice.
Where you can, I think even if you go through a drive-through, I think they ask you if you want a crown. Which
Really?
next time I go, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I loved the crown.
It was
As a
the
kid?
best.
Yeah.
It was the only reason I wanted to go to Burger King over McDonald's as a kid.
The crown.
Was you get the
Yep.
crown.
Yep.
And now as an adult, I think I might do that. So a text message from a 636 gets the bit. Did you see the thing about Lauren Boebert's son? All right. Good thing you brought that up, texter.
Yeah.
Because Lauren Boebert, we all know Congresswoman out of District 3 in Colorado. Nice lady, seems
You
like.
know the Beetlejuice lady with her boyfriend? I think they broke up.
Oh, you're talking about they went to the play.
The movie.
Or the musical,
yeah.
and she was vaping and whatnot, and then she said
She got
they broke
handsy.
up
Yeah.
because she just found out he was a Democrat, and you don't date Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, her 18-year-old son Tyler was arrested yesterday, facing 22 charges, including several felonies relating to a string of crimes in her Colorado district. The Rifle Police Department, there's a town called Rifle, Colorado, said in a Facebook post that he was arrested after a, quote, recent string of vehicle trespass and property thefts.
Well, that's not great.
Look, I know that we have talked about you can't, sins of the father, right? You can't you can't blame kids for what their parents do. Or you can't blame parents necessarily for what their children do.
Depends. Yeah.
Depends. In this case, though,
You know, I kind of just, here's the thing. Lauren Boebert kind of gives me that Sarah Palin vibe, the gun-toting, glasses-wearing beauty pageant queen, that type of vibe.
Yeah.
They kind of look alike. And all of the family drama that followed Sarah Palin, I think I just assumed would also follow Lauren Boebert. So I'm actually not surprised at all.
4 counts of criminal possession of a financial device, 4 counts of criminal possession of ID documents, and conspiracy to commit felony.
What's a financial device? A criminal possession of a financial device.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting, and that's a bummer for him. And I don't know what to say. Lauren Boebert needs to go. All right. This is something that may be surprising to you, Ron, because it was to me. 40% of TikTok users. You know TikTok?
Yes, I know what
the
TikTok
app
is.
that young people use.
Right.
40% of TikTok users are in their 30s and 40s. In other words, 40% of TikTok users are millennials and Gen Xers.
Wow.
For comparison, that age group accounted for just 20% of Instagram's user base a decade ago. Here is something else that is striking. Users 35 years old to 49 years old are more likely to upload videos than users 18 years old to 34.
What are they doing with it? Just watching?
I guess. I'm pretty shocked by this.
That doesn't make sense at all.
I feel dubious.
I'd like to look into that. I'd like to see the methodology on that one.
Well, it's a journalist, Ryan Broderick.
Interesting.
Yeah. Said TikTok is for older people.
Amy, did you see the Kegs and Eggs is coming back?
Oh, baby.
Opening day, April 4th at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals, they will be there, and we will be there from 10 until 2. That's when Kegs and Eggs goes on. You can get your tickets right now at KMOX.com/events. It's on 7th. It's right between Market and Walnut, really close, right across the street from Ballpark Village, actually. And it is an annual tradition with KMOX and the Cardinals opening day game. So Kegs and Eggs, it's
Get your
happening again.
tickets. Get
April
your
4th.
tickets.
KMOX.com/events. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey, have you saved more than $300,000 in an IRA or 401k? You may not realize it now, but you've got a big problem on your hands. And that problem is taxes. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on these accounts in retirement in a one-night adult education class, Retirement Planning 101. It's held at colleges and universities throughout Greater St. Louis and Southern Illinois. And it's hosted by financial and tax architects, your retirement professors. In just 3 hours, you'll benefit from decades of financial planning experience on taxes, healthcare, Social Security, investing for income, and more. If you've saved at least $300,000 for retirement, register now by calling 314-626-8817. You'll pay zero tuition for the class. So call 626-8817.
Advisory services offered through Financial and Tax Architects, an SEC registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Financial and Tax Architects.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels has to be New York. Skiing, Colorado, every time. And for psychics, think California Psychics. When you want the best, some places are better than others. That's why at CaliforniaPsychics.com, home of free spirits, big dreams, and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. We connect you with the very best, so we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So whatever direction you want to take your life, you know where to start. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Regulated activities performed by a licensed affiliate.
I had no idea I could sell my life insurance policy.
Norman and Nancy Duggan for Coventry Direct.
We were about to let Norman's policy lapse because premiums have become expensive. Our kids are doing well on their own, so we just don't need it anymore.
Then Nancy called Coventry.
They were so helpful, answering all of our questions.
If you're over 65 and have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify.
After this past year, we're celebrating life. We've booked some long overdue travel, and we're able to pay for our grandkids' college.
Coventry Direct has helped thousands live the life they want to live. Pay for unplanned medical expenses or supplement retirement income. When it comes to selling your life insurance, Coventry has you covered. Call 1-800-561-2600 or visit CoventryDirect.com to learn more about how you can get cash by selling your life insurance. Call 1-800-561-2600.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it is windy. Winds out of the northwest at 17. Right now, 32 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. The Supreme Court heard arguments on the Trump-era ban on bump stocks today. The ban came after a gunman used rifles equipped with bump stocks to kill 60 people and injure hundreds more in Las Vegas in 2017. But a Texas gun store owner argued the restriction is unlawful. Judges ruled in his favor, but the Biden administration appealed the ruling, arguing that semi-automatic rifles equipped with bump stocks falls within the definition of a machine gun. Deputy Solicitor General Brian Fletcher says they are modifying the gun to shoot continuously.
It's a device that is purpose-built to harness the recoil energy of the gun, to automate the process of releasing the trigger, to move the rifle back just the right distance in just the right direction so that the trigger resets, and then to ensure that the rifle moves forward again. Again, just the right distance, just the right direction. We think the cycle that's created by that means is by means of a self-regulating process.
The FAA has told Boeing to come up with a plan in 90 days to fix its quality issues.
The FAA wants a comprehensive action plan to address, quote, systemic quality control issues in 3 months. This follows an all-day meeting with Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun. FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker said in a statement that Boeing must commit to real and profound improvements. Making change will require a sustained effort, he says, from Boeing leadership. And, quote, we're going to hold them accountable every step of the way with mutually understood milestones and expectations. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
A business in Valley Park is picking up the pieces after early morning warehouse fire.
This is Stuart McMillan at the Elite Properties Warehouse, speaking with Linda Johnson, who is the office manager here. She was the one with the key that could open the safe firefighters found inside.
Well, they brought out the safe, we opened it, and our backup's in there. So we're happy about that.
How important is that to the business?
Extremely important.
Linda tells me firefighters were also able to pull off a mailbox that was on the side of the building that had payroll. It was a day late, and it got stuck in the mail. All 35 checks for all their employees were saved.
A bipartisan committee in the Missouri House spent 2 hours berating the state treasurer over some stickers.
The stickers were advertising the Treasury Office's unclaimed property program. The problem is they were placed on unregulated slot machines. Treasurer Vivek Malik gave his permission to put the stickers on the gambling machines from Torch Electronics of Wildwood, a company the state has been fighting with for some time with lawsuits and criminal charges. One lawmaker called it the most egregious thing done during her time in office. Malik eventually withdrew his permission for the sticker ads, but said he's the state treasurer, not the state pastor. It's not his job to judge how people spend their money. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk. Why the push to Texas?
Jamie Dimon is applauding Texas for its business-friendly policies. The chief executive officer of J.P. Morgan Chase praised Texas's lack of an income tax and its light regulatory touch, which have prompted companies to relocate or expand in the state. J.P. Morgan's workforce in Texas has surpassed 30,000 in recent years, while New York's total has slipped to less than 29,000. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel down 68 points to 38, down 74 points to 38.97. Slow moving road work on 170 northbound at Page. The left lane is blocked on Highway 40 west to Timberlake Manor Parkway in the center lane. One car crash 370 west at 94. That's got the right lane closed there.
KMOX AccuWeather for this afternoon. It will be mostly sunny, blustery, and much colder compared to recent days. Highs near 40. Clear and cold tonight, low 26. This is AccuWeather's Bill Degger on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It is windy and 32 in Florissant, 31 in St. Peters, and 32 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by Summer at SLU. Find your kids' best summer yet at St. Louis University.
I'm so sick of cicadas, a little freaked out, a little afraid. I know they're not as bad as Al-Qaeda, but I still kind of hate them. I'm so sick of cicadas, makes me want to take a vacation, pack up the kids and go to Grenada.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. It's good to have you with us on this beautiful Wednesday in St. Louis, and it is time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. Dr. Tamra Rial is a field specialist in horticulture at Mizzou, and we've got cicadas coming, baby. We're going to talk to Dr. Rial about that, or as apparently she likes to be called, Dr. Bug. How you doing, Dr.
Really?
Bug?
Hi, thanks for having me on.
This is correct, right? The Dr. Bug thing?
It is, yeah. Kids just found my last name really hard to say, and so we went with Dr. Bug.
Hey, it you know what? It's great because it fits. It gives a little explanation and some insight into what you do. Okay, well, I'm on the Mizzou website. And the headline I'm looking at said, billions of cicadas bring buzzy magic to Missouri in 2024. And buzzy magic is one way to put it. I feel like this sounds like a biblical plague, like billions of cicadas. So can you please put into perspective what is going to happen when these two broods of cicadas emerge at the same time? Even the word brood, it sounds biblical.
You're right. So yeah, let's break this down a little bit. There are there's 7 different species of periodical cicadas, but they can emerge at different times. There's 17-year cicadas and there's 13-year cicadas, and even within those, there's different groupings that come out at certain times. Those are the broods. So we have brood 13 and brood 19 that are emerging this year. They will not all be coming out at the same place or time. So here in Missouri, we're going to be seeing brood 19 come out in late April or May. And then in northern Illinois and some of those surrounding areas up there, they will see brood 13. There's a possibility there could be a bit of an overlap, but mostly we're just going to see brood 19 here.
Okay, so it's been how long since we've seen them?
Well, for brood 19, it's been 13 years since we've seen them, and brood 13, it's been 17 years. However, to have both of these come out at the same time, it was in the 1800s since they came out in the same year.
And we're looking at another couple hundred years after this before they come back out at the same time. Is that right?
Yeah, it's going to take 221 years before they emerge at the same time again.
Whoa.
So I read that the last time, as you mentioned, the last two broods emerged together was in 1803. And I heard that that's why Napoleon sold the land in the Louisiana Purchase, because he thought, I can't do this. This is too loud.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. Yeah, the last time these came out at the same time, the Louisiana Purchase was happening. Thomas Jefferson was president. Yeah, and the next time it'll happen again, it's going to be your great, 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 great grandchildren.
Wow.
Well, so I remember this was a couple of years ago, and I feel like it was worse in Ohio, but there were cicadas and people had to shovel them off their patios. There were so many cicadas. And I know this for a fact. Is it going to be like that here where we might have to shovel our patios?
It is possible.
Awesome.
Not everywhere. Not
Let's
everywhere.
go.
But really, there are that many cicadas. These cicadas come out in mass. And the reason is because they know that they are tasty. And so other animals, birds, squirrels, even your dogs and cats, they're going to want to eat and they're going to get their fill. Don't worry, your dogs and cats are going to be fine.
Nice.
But then there's going to be plenty more cicadas to lay the eggs for the next generation.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think that's and when you step on them, it's kind of like bubble wrap.
No.
It's like stepping on bubble wrap. So why would we not want them here?
Now,
yeah, actually, let me ask this question. Here's an important question. What do cicadas even do?
This is an important question. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you what they don't do. They don't bite or sting, so you don't have to worry about them, okay? They are a really neat part of natural history. So they feed on plant fluids when they're in the ground for 13 or 17 years. They're actually feeding on the tree fluids from the roots. And we don't have much research to be able to indicate, does this really hurt the trees or not? My guess is it's going to be insignificant. When they emerge, then they do have some feeding on the trees. But usually your trees are going to be just fine. It's only the young trees that we do have to worry about. They actually can be, they could be negatively affected and even killed. So you need to protect those.
And okay, so when they're underground for 13 years, 17 years, they're feeding on the tree roots. And perhaps that kind of answers the question I'm about to ask, which I saw someone else ask, which is funny. So there are billions and billions of cicadas underground for 13, 15, 17 years. How come when we dig, we don't dig up billions of cicadas? Or do we and we don't know it?
Well, you might come across them when you're digging, and they're going to be next to tree roots. And where they are in the soil is going to depend on soil temperature and some other things. Honestly, we don't have much research. We don't have much data on them. For insects that live underground, they're really hard to study. And when their life cycle is 13 or 17 years, that makes it even more challenging. So really, it's a mystery. We need to know more.
We know temperatures have been rising. That's just a fact. It's been happening. In fact, we had the hottest February day ever in St. Louis yesterday. It got to 86 degrees. What does temperature do, or climate, as it changes and gets warmer? How does it affect cicadas?
So yet another mystery, something else that we have an opportunity to discover. We know that the cicadas typically come out when the soil temperature is about 64 degrees. And so with warmer weather, that means our soil temperature is going to be warmer as well. So it's possible that we could see these a little bit earlier than we typically would. There's actually an app out there for citizen scientists, all of us, to be able to add information to this. If you participate in the Cicada Safari app, you can actually help us be able to track where the cicadas are and what time that they're emerging. So it would actually be great to have extra help. Scientists can't be everywhere. So this is one of those opportunities for everybody to be involved.
What was that website again?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's called Cicada Safari. And there's an app that's available. You can find it both on the Apple App Store and then also on the Google Play Store.
Could kids, teenagers be part of this app, or maybe even younger kids with their parents?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody can.
That's awesome. I was homeschooled, so this like sounds like something we would have totally gotten down with. Like, everybody download the app, get on this, be a citizen scientist. Okay, can I ask you, when the cicadas do emerge from underground after, say, 17 years, how long are they out and about before they die? Because that's a pretty quick turnaround, right?
It is, yeah, for something that has such a long life history or life cycle. They're only adults for about 4 to 6 weeks. So once we get that soil temperature up and we get a nice spring rain, and then you start to see these holes in the ground, and then the exuvia or the shells that you sometimes see with cicadas that'll be on trees or on fences, then you'll start to hear the singing. And those are the males. It's the males that sing. And what's interesting about periodical cicadas versus our annual cicadas, the males actually synchronize their singing. And that's why it can get so loud, over 100 decibels. The females, if they're receptive, they'll click their wings. So there's another fun sound that they make. But yeah, that's how they interact. It's really cool. And actually, I have to point this out. Why I said they're magic is because if you look in their name, their genus is Magicicada, magic cicada. So yeah, so I mean, it's if you think about it that way, like something that just, it comes out for 4 to 6 weeks and then disappears for 13 or 17 years, and then just all of a sudden takes over the ecosystem again. It's magical.
Well, it's kind of neat that they all sing at the same time. They're like a boy band. They all do it at once. They just know.
Yeah.
And, after all these years, they know to do it at once. It's amazing.
I think this is going to be the stupidest observation, Doctor, that anyone will ever make, probably. But I always think of, like, wouldn't this be weirder if cicadas were bigger? Like, what if cicadas weighed 20 pounds? Can you imagine billions of 20-pound animals coming out of the ground?
Dr. Bug, do you ever think about this?
Do you know what I mean? Like, what if this was bears? What if this was bear behavior?
Okay, then that one. Okay.
Well, fortunately, they don't. But a lot of people feel like that anyway. I mean, it does have a reminiscence of an alien invasion when you just get taken over by these. Fortunately, they're not bears. Fortunately, they're only about an inch in size.
Can't come to work today. There's a billion bears outside my house. I can't come to work.
Right?
What are you talking about?
I know.
Hey, we stream live on Facebook, and a listener, Sean, says that he's going to fry up a few this week.
No.
So, or he thinks he's going to fry them up when they come in. Can you eat them?
Yeah, actually, many insects you can eat. It is recommended that you do it before they've hardened off and become black with their red eyes. So right as they emerge, they're kind of white and they're soft and going to be more tender. So yeah, people definitely can eat these. In fact, last time these emerged in Columbia, Missouri, there was an ice cream shop. I think it's Sparky's, and they actually had cicada flavored ice cream. They're not doing it this year, but yeah, people do. And in other cultures, insects are actually an important part of their diet.
Yeah.
We're the weird ones here in the U.S.
I believe that to be true. So the cicada ice cream, did it contain cicadas, or does how they can recreate flavors in a lab? Is that how they got it, or do they actually put cicadas in it?
No, they actually use cicadas. It was supposed to be a joke, but it sold out so fast.
Oh my gosh, I kind of feel like throwing up. Did they know the rule about don't wait until their eyes get red?
Unfortunately, I was not able to be there to find out. But I do just want to put this caution. If you are thinking about doing this, if you are allergic to shellfish, you're going to want to stay away because insects are related. And then also, there is a caution about eating things that have been underground especially for such a long time, because you don't know what has been put on the soil. You don't know what they've been exposed to. So there is a caution. On the other hand, it's super cool, and this is an opportunity to try something new.
So if you get them and you're going to eat them, you need to wash them first, right?
Yeah, I would recommend that.
Okay.
It's so interesting. You know, we spend
really is.
so much time talking about politics, and it's like, oh, this is, even though it's also somewhat terrifying, it's a breath of fresh air. But it did get me thinking with the field that you're in, and horticulture and looking at nature. You could go into ecology. How is that field doing now with prospective students? Is it something that continues to grow? Is it something that students don't haven't focused on as much as other areas? You know, we've talked about the humanities and such and so forth. How is it doing right now?
Well, I don't have numbers in front of me, but I do know that there is a growing interest in nature and in environmental stewardship. People are finding that, or recognizing just how important having a healthy environment is to our well-being, individuals' well-being, and also communities. So I hope that it continues to grow, that interest continues to grow, not only by students at a university, but by the public generally.
Well, Dr. Rial, this was fun. We
Really
enjoy the
fun.
conversation, and we appreciate you jumping on with us. And do you prefer Dr. Bug, or is that just what you let people call you?
I think it's a fun nickname, so go ahead.
All right, Dr. Bug, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Dr. Tamara Rial, or Dr. Bug. She is a field specialist in horticulture at Mizzou.
How
with us
fun
on
is that?
KMOX.
How fun is that?
I might.
It's awful and fun. It is so crazy though. Nature, I don't know. Is it Our Planet? Is that the name of the show on Netflix? It's so overwhelmingly miraculous, bizarre, equal parts crazy, astounding, and really that we still have so much unknown about cicadas because they live so long underground. What are they doing down there?
What if cicadas were the size of bears?
I think that's such a great question.
What is wrong with you?
Can you imagine the chaos? I mean, it could be potentially world-ending. The billions of bears unleashed on the Midwest.
Mm-hmm. Jen Cease must be watching on Facebook because she sends a message and it says, "I'm following the plague." Yeah. So we're going to talk City SC with Jen at the bottom of the hour after the news. We're going to talk about their loss last night in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which I still don't know what CONCACAF stands for.
I wonder if Jen does.
I bet she will look it up.
Yep.
If she doesn't know, she will look it up, but I'm sure she already knows.
Yep.
So yeah, that's coming up. We will talk about City's game last night. That is after the bottom of the hour news, but more of us, Chris and Amy on KMOX. You're welcome.
We go where you go. 11:20 a.m., 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
When selling your home, you want the most money and the least hassle. That's exactly what you get when you work with trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is Debbie Monterey, and selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make. And that's why having an expert on your side is crucial. Other agents know that some sellers will choose the agent that tells them the highest price they can get for their home, and that can be a dangerous strategy. Most of the time, it ends up being empty promises. Gloria Liu doesn't make empty promises. She makes guarantees in writing. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it. Guaranteed in writing. So pick up the phone and call Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. Gloria Liu, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW, a family-owned dealership group that has been around for 50 years as a Toyota dealer and 25 years in O'Fallon, Illinois. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Warmer spring weather is right around the corner, and now is the time to plan your home's exterior renovation project. Banner Construction is booking now for homeowners to be first in line for beautiful James Hardy siding and Pella replacement windows. Beat the price increases and plan your project now. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 and get a free in-home design and estimate. 314-569-1050 and have a banner day.
Are you ready for a new you in the new year? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and we know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. Schedule your free consultation to meet with one of our health coaches who will determine which of our custom weight loss programs is right for you. Visit moweightloss.com now to schedule your free in-person or virtual consultation.
This is Debbie Monterey, and I just want to thank St. Louis Weight Loss Secret for making my 40-pound weight loss seemingly effortless. I mean, I did put in the work, but I followed the plan from St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I lost 20 pounds in a month, 30 pounds in 2 months, 40 pounds altogether. And now I am working on maintaining that weight loss because I don't want to go back to the way I was before. If you would like to lose that weight, go to moweightloss.com. It's St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, 314-207-8600.
Many people lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For a new you in the new year, call for your free weight loss consultation. 314-207-8600. That's 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com. That's moweightloss.com.
How much do you worry about your debt?
With over $15,000 I owe, constantly it keeps me awake at night.
Accelerated debt settlement can cut your debt by up to 85% and in as little as 7 to 12 months.
I could be free of debt in no time?
That's right. Other debt settlement companies can take years to negotiate down your debt, but accelerated debt settlement moves fast. Just call 1-877-314-1342.
The sooner I don't have to stress about my debt, the better.
Exactly. In just months, Accelerated Debt Settlement's legal team will negotiate your unsecured debt down 60, 80, even 100%. Your debt from credit cards, student loans, timeshares, medical expenses, and more cut down 60, 80, even 100%. And you'll save thousands of dollars in interest payments.
Finally, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
And a good night's sleep.
Now get free of debt in a year or less with Accelerated Debt Settlement. Just call 1-877-314-1342 and we'll get to work for you. That's 1-877-314-1342. 1-877-314-1342.
And paid for by America First Tax Group. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-908-7393 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-908-7393. That's 800-908-7393. Again, 800-908-7393.
Mike Miller hosts the Garden Hotline, Saturday mornings at 8 on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We love your text messages on this show. We also love your voicemails. The texts are 314-436-7900, same as the call-in. And if you want to drop a voicemail, 314-944-1120. We just talked to Dr. Tamara Rial.
She was awesome, by the way. That
about
sounds
the
like
cicadas that are coming.
she seems like any class that she teaches.
She also goes
would
by
be fun.
Dr. Bug.
Yep.
Because people can't pronounce her name right. And a text message from a 314. We want you to use the text line, but not like this.
Oh, please tell me it's not one of those.
If Dr. Bug had a pet rabbit, it would be Dr. Bug's Bunny.
Listen, this is a real show with real guests.
Presidents have called into the station.
I used to talk to presidents. That's what Charlie Brennan would tell me every day. Every time I said something like, what if cicadas were the size of bears?
Oh.
He would be like, I used to talk to presidents. Listen, it's not my fault I got hired.
Yeah, don't blame Steve.
Yeah, you're going to point fingers at Steve Moore. He's the one that hired me. I didn't even agree with it.
Oh, my
honestly,
God.
I think it feels irresponsible.
Oh, Dr. Bug's Bunny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way funnier to me than it should be. Very good. Thank you for texting in.
Yeah.
Another one says, Amy, you're worried about your hair.
Uh-huh.
That Burger King crown, you can use it to hide your hair.
Oh, that's great. See, this is the type of helpful information that we need. I think the Burger King crown would help tame the flyaways.
Text message from a 314. I'm a little under the weather today. Still have to drive around and make deliveries. You guys are crazy. You make me laugh every day, and you made me at least smile this morning.
Oh,
I love you. Wow, love.
that was actually really nice.
Damn.
Also, kind of like throwing a little bit of shade that you make me laugh every day, except for today. I kind of smiled.
No, he's saying, look, you've really helped me power through my day making
that
deliveries.
means a lot to me. Thank
Can
you.
you? Hey, how about driving around in a delivery truck, driving over cicadas? That would be awesome. Crunch. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. We'll talk soccer next.
If you want answers, you've got to ask the right questions.
Michael, this is a great question. And as you know, we do have some budgetary issues.
We question newsmakers and decision makers each night on Total Information PM.
I think you've asked a very, very comprehensive list of questions.
Getting to the heart of the issues.
I work with journalists worldwide. You've researched and know this subject better than anyone.
Reaching for understanding.
You are an objective reporter, and you're a great investigative reporter.
We aim to get you to that aha moment every night. I'm Michael Calhoun with Total Information PM at 5 o'clock on KMOX.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it.
100% on time, 100% guaranteed, 100% wow. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath delivers all that, all in 3 days. Here's how it works. Create a kitchen idea, give them 3 days, and suddenly your kitchen becomes the centerpiece of your home. A place where everyone gathers no matter how much room you have in the house. Every project is 100% on time, 100% guaranteed, and 100% wow. Invest in your family and your home. Invest in a kitchen with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. 3-Day Kitchen offers a 100% satisfaction guarantee and will complete the job to your liking, guaranteed. They're in and out of your home in 3 days or less with top quality products and a great crew. And they're finished on time with no delays. Get details now. Start at 3daykitchenandbath.com. That's the number 3, then daykitchen.com. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
At 11:30, we've got wind and 34 degrees downtown at the Arch.
This just in.
Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving Senate leader in history who maintained his power in the face of dramatic convulsions of the Republican Party for almost 2 decades, will step down from that position in November. McConnell, who turned 82 last week, was set to announce his decision today in the well of the Senate. Looking for a home?
U.S. home buying demand is close to its worst since 1995. Home purchases applications have dropped for a 5th straight week as mortgage rates stay above 7%. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
Overnight storms caused widespread damage across center Ohio and areas of neighboring Kentucky and West Virginia. These people had their homes heavily damaged near Springfield, Ohio.
I was just scared. I had never been in that situation. My parents, I texted them. My mom was like, why wouldn't you call us?
Unfortunately, we got hit the most. And it just, things happen. So we just have to accept that.
For us, mostly sunny, blustery, and much colder this afternoon with the high just about 40. Real feel temperatures in the teens and 20s. Clear and cold tonight, low 26. For tomorrow, some sun with a high of 53. Right now, winds are out of the northwest at 17. It feels like 23. Right now, 34 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Did you know that St. Louis Composting is open all year long?
It may be winter, but it's the perfect time to start planning for next spring's bountiful garden and lawn. For more information, visit stlcompost.com.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
The first new brick-and-mortar standalone Genesis showroom in Missouri is about to open, and you will have to see it to believe it. It is luxury at its finest in St. Charles County. As we anxiously await the official opening, you can still purchase your Genesis today at St. Charles Hyundai. And right now, there's a $1,000 incentive on the 2024 GV80 through the end of the month. It's Genesis of St. Charles, a quarter-mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70, or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
According to the U.S. debt clock, and the time you hear this commercial, our nation's debt will go up by $1.5 million. That's more than $2 billion a day. Right now, our debt is over $32 trillion and climbing fast. The question is, how do we pay it off? The most likely answer is increasing taxes. Now think about your retirement accounts. Do you want to pay taxes on some of that money now when rates are historically low, or later when rates are potentially higher? Whether you should pay taxes now or in retirement depends on a lot of things. The FIRA Capital Management team knows what to look for and can help you create a customized plan so your retirement is as tax efficient as possible. Schedule your visit with the FIRA Capital Management team now, 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Firm may not give tax advice.
Hello, everyone. This is Mike Claiborne.
And this is Matt Pauley inviting you to follow the Redbirds this offseason on the Cardinals Countdown to Opening Day show presented by Ameren.
Thursday night at 6 on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals.
KMOX.
KMOX is covering breaking news.
As we told you in the news at 11:30, Senate Minority Leader, the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, has announced that he is stepping down from that leadership position. He is in his 80s, and we're going to take you now to the Senate floor where he's speaking.
Angela, just a few weeks ago, when you lose a loved one, particularly at a young age, there's a certain introspection that accompanies the grieving process. Perhaps it is God's way of reminding you of your own life's journey to reprioritize the impact of the world that we will all inevitably leave behind. I turned 82 last week. The end of my contributions are closer than I'd prefer. My career in the United States Senate began amidst the Reagan Revolution. The truth is, when I got here, I was just happy if anybody remembered my name. President Reagan called me Mitch O'Donnell. Close enough, I thought. My wife Elaine and I got married on President Reagan's birthday, February 6th. It's probably not the most romantic thing to admit, but Reagan meant a lot to both of us. For 31 years, Elaine has been the love of my life, and I'm eternally grateful to have her by my side. I think back to my first days in the Senate with deep appreciation for the time that helped shape my view of the world. I'm unconflicted about the good within our country and the irreplaceable role we play as the leader of the free world. It's why I worked so hard to get the national security package passed earlier this month. Believe me, I know the politics within my party at this particular moment in time. I have many faults. Misunderstanding politics is not one of them. That said, I believe more strongly than ever that America's global leadership is essential to preserving the shining city on a hill that Ronald Reagan discussed. For as long as I'm drawing breath on this earth, I will defend American exceptionalism. So as I've been thinking about when I would deliver some news to the Senate, I always imagined a moment when I had total clarity and peace about the sunset of my work. A moment when I'm certain I have helped preserve the ideals I so strongly believe. That day arrived today. My goals when I was narrowly elected to the Senate back in 1984 were fairly modest. Do a good job for the people of Kentucky and convince them that by doing so, they might rehire me for a second term. That was it. That was the plan. If you would have told me 40 years later that I would stand before you as the longest serving Senate leader in American history, frankly, I would have thought you'd lost your mind. I have the honor of representing Kentucky in the Senate longer than anyone else in our state's history. I just never could have imagined that happening when I arrived here in 1984 at 42. I'm filled with heartfelt gratitude and humility for the opportunity. But now it's 2024. I'm now 82. As Ecclesiastes tells us, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. To serve Kentucky in the Senate has been the honor of my life. To lead my Republican colleagues has been the highest privilege. But one of life's most underappreciated talents is to know when it's time to move on to life's next chapter. So I stand before you today, Mr. President, and my colleagues, to say this will be my last term as Republican leader of the Senate. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. However, I'll complete my job my colleagues have given me until we select a new leader in November and they take the helm next January. I'll finish the job the people of Kentucky hired me to do as well, albeit from a different seat. And I'm actually looking forward to that. So it's time for me to think about another season. I love the Senate. It's been my life. There may be more distinguished members of this body throughout our history, but I doubt there were any with any more admiration for the Senate. After all this time, I still get a thrill walking into the Capitol, and especially on this venerable floor, knowing that we, each of us, have the honor to represent our states and do the important work of our country. But Father Time remains undefeated. I'm no longer the young man sitting in the back, hoping colleagues would remember my name. It's time for the next generation of leadership. As Henry Clay said in this very body in 1850, the Constitution of the United States was not made merely for the generation that then existed, but for posterity, unlimited, undefined, endless, perpetual posterity. So time rolls on. There'll be a new custodian of this great institution next year. I won't surprise you to know I intend to turn this job over to a Republican majority leader. I have full confidence in my conference to choose my replacement and lead our country forward. There'll be other times to reminisce. I'm immensely proud of the accomplishments I've played some role in obtaining for the American people. Today is not the day to discuss all of that, because as I said earlier, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. There are many challenges we must meet to deliver for the American people, and each will have my full effort and attention. I still have enough gas in my tank to thoroughly disappoint my critics, and I intend to do so with all the enthusiasm with which they become accustomed. So to my colleagues, thank you for entrusting me with our success. It's been an honor to work with each of you. There'll be plenty of time to express my gratitude in greater detail as I sprint towards the finish line, which is now in sight. I yield the floor.
That is Senator Mitch McConnell out of Kentucky announcing that in November he will be stepping down from his position as Senate's Republican leader. He is the longest serving Senate leader in the history of the United States. So this was a bit of a surprise. I don't think it was surprising that he came to this conclusion now at the age of 82, but it happening right now, just a few moments ago, I think was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it is something that you have to look back on his career, regardless of how you feel about his political stance or policies. Respect the longevity of his career, serving the country, as he said, the enthusiasm with which he has done it, and that he will continue to disappoint his critics with the same amount of enthusiasm until November. But he said a skill or an ability that we don't acknowledge enough is the skill, the wisdom of knowing when to step down. And he said, now is the time to step down. I will say, in this moment that is as politically fraught as it is, with the conversation about age of former President Donald Trump, of current President Joe Biden, I think all of us probably at some point thought of the president himself and others in politics who have, I think, not stepped down soon enough. You could say Mitch McConnell didn't step down soon enough, but he is stepping down. You look at someone like a Dianne Feinstein, who probably should have stepped down. Well, not probably, should have stepped down sooner. I know with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that was a big conversation. So I don't know how you don't listen to that speech and think of perhaps those politicians who are abdicating their duty to step down.
Well, I don't think President Biden is in the same, even though they're of similar age, I don't think he's in the same space in terms of health that McConnell is. McConnell has had much greater health problems in the last couple of years than Biden has had. So in that regard, I don't think I agree with you.
Although Mitt Romney is very healthy, and he said it was time to step down.
For him.
Yes.
Yeah,
for
sure.
him.
But I also don't believe that just because you're older, you should step down. You should have to step down just because you're in your late 70s. You might still be perfectly capable of performing the duties. And we do have there are a lot of younger people in Congress as well. I think we're fairly well represented across the age spectrums. But I don't think McConnell and Biden are the same right now. So I'm not really drawing that parallel, but I know a lot of people are going to because they're of similar age.
That was my natural parallel. I mean, to be completely honest, it is. We know Joe Biden is getting his physical right now. Actually, he's with the doctors getting a physical, as you do when you're president. Of course. I mean, how can you not think of the age and where Joe Biden is ailing? Or even if you think he's doing pretty well, maybe he should say, as our friend Bob Costas said, I'm going to be a one-term president to help move this country forward and then step down to let someone else take the helm. Because Joe Biden now, as much as we see him struggling, you cannot tell me that it will be exponentially worse in 5 years.
Here's the issue with that. He still currently has a lot of support. And I know what the polling says right now, but I don't believe the polling that we're seeing in the moment is the polling that matters when we get to November, because we're certainly watching the primaries happen, and he's been winning by a lot. And there have been some challengers. You can argue they're not serious challengers, but he still has the support, which is why you're not seeing him go away right now.
This is an honest question. It's not a partisan question. Do you think that Mitch McConnell stepping down puts any pressure at all, extra pressure on Joe Biden?
I don't think so, because they don't sound the same. They don't sound the same. McConnell had moments where he completely froze, and he had to be whisked away from the stage.
But he also
Biden is not having moments like that.
But Joe Biden has moments of
Not like that, Amy.
objectively discernible confusion, whether
Not
it's
like
on
that.
the podium or leaving
That was
the podium.
bad. What McConnell did was bad, where he
But
was being asked questions and he couldn't respond. That was bad.
Even if you say, well, Mitch McConnell's slightly worse, the discussion around
I don't think it's slightly.
Well, the discussion around Joe Biden, and I'd push back, but even if we disagree on that, the discussion is around his age. And I do wonder if, at least not on Joe Biden himself, but on the Democratic Party, if you start to see Republicans like Mitch McConnell step down, like Mitt Romney step down, mentioning their age, mentioning that you have to have the wisdom or the skill to know when it's time. How does that not put at least some pressure on the Democratic Party to acknowledge, as so many of us have, Joe Biden is struggling now, and there's no way he's going to be okay in 5 years?
Because anybody who's been paying any attention to politics knows that people like Romney, or we saw it with much younger politicians like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, they're not MAGA enough. And they have fear of being primaried, so they're getting out. And I don't think that's where McConnell is, because he's established. He's not going anywhere in Kentucky. They love him there. But I think that's really a big part of the issue, is that a lot of these people, young, old, stepping away from Congress, stepping away from the Senate, have recognized they'd have a very difficult time getting reelected because they're not far right extreme enough for the party any longer. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. If you have exposed brick or stone in your garage, basement, or fireplace, this is a great time to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. Of course, tuck pointing on the outside of your house is often not possible in the winter, but inside, the Morelli team can keep working 12 months a year. What's tuck pointing? Well, it's the removal of old mortar and the replacement of new mortar on a wall or chimney. Sometimes that mortar can become loose, missing, or deeply eroded. We've used the Morelli team to tuck point the Brennan home numerous times. So if you live in a brick or stone home in need of repair, call the company that's received the Angie's List Super Service Award every year, back to back to back, since 2005. Morelli, the masonry specialists. Check out their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. Call 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
February 26th through March 10th, enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets for you and your friends to see Arrival from Sweden, the music of ABBA, at the Factory on April 14th. An Arrival from Sweden show is the closest you can get to the experience of seeing the real ABBA on stage. Enter by going to the KMOX contest page, clicking on the Arrival from Sweden contest link, enter your email address, and click Submit. Winners will be randomly picked at the end. Tickets are on sale now.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Hi, Little Bob here. We're turning President's Day into President's Days, spotlighting new choices every day in February at Bob's Discount Furniture. You can choose from 12 $9.99 sofa love seat combos, $5.99 dining sets with tons of options, and 9 complete queen bedroom sets for only $9.99. Flexible financing options available. Subject to credit approval, ask for details. When you get a different choice every day in February, there's only one thing to say. Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Paid for by government.com. Did you hear? A recent stash of $20 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found.
These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-973-3097, and you are guaranteed a $20 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3097. Call now, and you will receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3097 now to secure your $20 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3097.
Regulated activities performed by a licensed affiliate.
I had no idea I could sell my life insurance policy.
Norman and Nancy Duggan for Coventry Direct.
We were about to let Norman's policy lapse because premiums have become expensive. Our kids are doing well on their own, so we just don't need it anymore.
Then Nancy called Coventry.
They were so helpful, answering all of our questions.
If you're over 65 and have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify.
After this past year, we're celebrating life. We've booked some long overdue travel, and we're able to pay for our grandkids' college.
Coventry Direct has helped thousands live the life they want to live. Pay for unplanned medical expenses or supplement retirement income. When it comes to selling your life insurance, Coventry has you covered. Call 1-800-561-2600 or visit CoventryDirect.com to learn more about how you can get cash by selling your life insurance. Call 1-800-561-2600.
With the new year, it's time to make sure you have the best vision for 2024. That means scheduling your annual eye exam with Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Tune in to the Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts, Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX for expert advice on remodeling, design, and construction. This live Q&A show begins at 11 a.m. or find podcasts at mosbybuildingarts.com.
Amy Marks Course.
Fabulous.
Chris Ranji.
Unbelievable.
On KMOX.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Don't forget,
Kegs and Eggs.
Kegs and Eggs, April 4th. It's a Thursday.
You'll get to meet us.
You'll get to meet us. The opening day festivities will happen. Cardinals will be opening their season at Busch Stadium. We're going to be on 7th between Market and Walnut. Kegs and Eggs is every year. It's an annual tradition, and we will be there again. Tickets are on sale for it right now. There are VIP tickets. There's all kinds of different packages that you can get, and we want you to be part of it. So KMOX.com/events. Get your tickets now because they will sell out. That's the thing. So that will happen. You just want to be on it as quickly as possible, I would say.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Amy, a couple of text messages have come in here.
Okay.
And we were just talking about Mitch McConnell, who just announced that he's going to step down as Republican leader, the GOP leader in the Senate in November. He's going to serve out the rest of his term, though, which ends in 2026. And a texter says, when Biden has those moments, we're talking about the, forgetting where you are. And
confusion.
Yeah. When Biden has those moments, they keep him from speaking for an extra hour. Another texter says the ageism is so absurd. Trump is just as old. He isn't a spring chicken.
Well, first of all, are they saying we're being ageist? Because you can't say
I think it's just the general ageism.
Because ageism is so absurd. We're not talking about ageism. We're talking about, do you have the physical and mental capacity to hold one of the hardest jobs in the world when it comes to being a high-ranking elected official in the U.S. government, and the hardest job in the world when it comes to being president of the United States, the most stressful job. It's like those commercials where it's like, oh, before you take Viagra, make sure you're healthy enough for sex. We should be asking the same thing before you become president or
and
senator.
Again, and what I have said is I am more concerned with not how Biden sounds publicly when he speaks. I'm more concerned with when he's working, when he's operating behind scenes, when he's talking with people.
So I
when
get
he's
it,
working with leaders.
but wasn't Jon Stewart spot on when he said, record that?
Yeah, but I don't can you?
Record it. Show somebody.
And I agree with you, but is that protocol? That's not how it works.
Somehow you've got to be able to have one non-serious behind-the-scenes conversation where you can show Joe Biden looking remotely capable.
Well, non-serious, yes, but we're talking about the actual business of the day.
He only looks capable when he's talking about serious things?
Behind closed doors. That's what we're talking about. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey, have you saved more than $300,000 in an IRA or 401k? You may not realize it now, but you've got a big problem on your hands. And that problem is taxes. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on these accounts in retirement in a one-night adult education class, Retirement Planning 101. It's held at colleges and universities throughout Greater St. Louis and Southern Illinois. And it's hosted by financial and tax architects, your retirement professors. In just 3 hours, you'll benefit from decades of financial planning experience on taxes, healthcare, Social Security, investing for income, and more. If you've saved at least $300,000 for retirement, register now by calling 314-626-8817. You'll pay zero tuition for the class, so call 314-626-8817.
Advisory services offered through Financial and Tax Architects, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Financial and Tax Architects.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Not all water heaters are made equally. Some can be temperamental. Some can be unreliable and don't even think about what happens if you have neighbors downstairs.
Why is it raining inside my apartment?
Not with a Navien tankless water heater. You'll never run out of hot water. You only heat water when you need it, saving you tons in utility costs. Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Cardinals single game tickets for the 2024 season are on sale now and start at just $6. The schedule is filled with great matchups, including 2 weekend series with the Cubs, plus weekend matchups with the Dodgers, Red Sox, and more. The promo schedule is packed with fan favorites too, like jerseys, bobbleheads, player tributes, and so much more. There's something for everyone in the 2024 season. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com.
This is Lars Nootbaar, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Here's a rookie debut you won't want to miss. An all-inclusive experience that's new to Busch Stadium in 2024. The Budweiser 703 Club salutes Albert Pujols' legendary 703 career home run. This new premium club features an open field view of the game, plus a full-service bar and elevated ballpark fare like stone-fired pizza, fresh pasta, a dessert station, a full nacho bar, and more. For tickets or more details, visit Cardinals.com/703Club.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a windy condition, 36 degrees downtown at the Arch. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. Mitch McConnell, the longest-serving Senate leader in history, who's maintained power in the face of many changes for almost 2 decades, is going to step down from that position in November. He's about to speak on the Senate floor. CBS's Nicole Killian.
This does not necessarily come as a huge surprise. You know, Leader McConnell had made clear that he would continue to serve out his current term as leader. And certainly there have been a lot of questions about his leadership as of late, particularly as he had a few health episodes over the past year where he had these freezing incidents, where he suffered from a couple of falls. There was some questions about his viability and his health from that standpoint.
Mitch McConnell to step down as Senate leader in November. CBS News Special Report. I'm Steve Kathan.
A warehouse fire in Valley Park did not destroy everything.
This is a hard day.
It's a hard day. It's very hard.
That's Linda Johnson, who's the office manager here at Elite Properties that went up in flames in Valley Park. Her and her boss, Todd, were standing around here looking inside a safe that firefighters found, and also the mailbox that was pulled off the wall. And what was inside that? Heroes in the mailbox.
And our payroll was
Oh, my
delivered
God.
late yesterday, and they dropped it off in the mailbox. And the firemen were kind enough to tear it off the wall for us. So we have payroll saved and our backup disk for our computers.
And tell me, Elite Properties will go on, and they have employees doing work today once they get the keys out of the building and they can get the trucks moving. In Valley Park, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The Missouri State Treasurer had to take his licks from lawmakers for advertising in an untraditional place.
The place on slot machines and other unregulated gambling machines. Vivek Malik gave permission for Torch Electronics of Wildwood to stick on ads for his office's unclaimed property program, but after a House subcommittee spent 2 hours berating him for it, he withdrew that permission. One lawmaker said Malik's legacy will go down as making a mockery of the state treasurer's office. Malik says he was just trying to get out the word that the state is holding more than $1 billion in funds and property that belongs to citizens. Torch Electronics has been fighting with the state for years about whether their gaming machines are legal or not. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Another Schnucks beef recall. This time, the Brentwood Schnucks says their beef could contain pieces of metal. The beef was produced on the 25th, and if you purchased any of that meat with a sell-by date of the 26th, return it to the Brentwood store or throw it out. This is an isolated incident, and no one has been harmed. The KMOX Business Desk, a new cookie.
Oreo is about to debut 2 new flavors. Dirt Cake and Tiramisu Thins will be on shelves nationwide starting on Monday, March 4th. Oreo's Dirt Cake cookies will only be available for a limited time, but Tiramisu Thins have earned a permanent spot in the Oreo cookie lineup. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
Allergy Report is sponsored by Zero Res. Call Zero Res today and get 3 rooms clean starting at $119. Tree count and juniper are moderate right now. Mold count, maple and elm are low. The forecast.
This afternoon, despite sunshine, it will be blustery and much colder. Highs near 40. Real feels in the teens and 20s. Clear tonight, low 26. Milder already tomorrow. Sunshine, high 53. This is AccuWeather's Bill Degger on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Windy and 36 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by Summer at SLU. Find your kids' best summer yet at St. Louis University. Time to rewind. It's the Chris and Amy Rewind Recap.
Well, happy National Pancake Day, Amy.
Yeah, so he comes into the office today, he being Chris Ranji, and says, it's National Pancake Day. I'm like, oh, awesome. He's like, yep, it's National Pancake Day. Are there pancakes?
Nope.
No. He goes, no, I saw it on the TV.
It's on the TV.
Like, you don't walk into an
It
office
is.
at 9 o'clock in the morning and say, it's National Pancake Day, all excited.
Did you think I was bringing them in?
Well, I thought somebody brought them in.
I didn't know until I saw it on the TV.
That's how I thought you knew that it was National Pancake Day, is that you saw a bunch of pancakes on the counter.
You know everybody calls it the TV instead of the TV?
Old people?
It's weird, isn't it?
Do you?
It is. No, I say TV. It's National Pancake Day. There are 2 National Pancake Days. There's the IHOP has its own, and it's a moving date. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then there's this one, February 26th. Do you know what also is today?
What?
This one is great, and I never knew it existed until 2 hours ago. National Public Sleeping Day. On February, I think I said February 26th, but February 28th, National Public Sleeping Day. If you're tired on February 28th, it might be because National Public Sleeping Day encourages a midday nap right where you are.
I could do that. I'm down with that.
Yeah. Great day for anyone to take a nap on a blanket at the beach, at the park, in the movie theater, on a bus, train, or subway, or any other public space that may work for you.
Yeah. Well, do not sleep in the lobby of a hotel because the police will come and wake you up and escort you out.
And they also do not recommend taking a nap at your desk during work.
Oh, well, that's when I was going to do it.
Right.
Why would you celebrate that day if that's not when you're going to take a nap?
Well,
I
don't know why they do that to us.
National Pancake Day does remind me of the show Schitt's Creek when Alexis is the daughter and the dad comes in and said, we need to do something. It's your mom's birthday today. She goes, no, mom's birthday is the second Sunday of May. And he said, no, that's Mother's Day. And she says, I don't think so. Just her persistence that her mom's birthday was the second Sunday in May.
You know, we celebrated today the Michigan primary.
I think if you're sitting in the White House, you have to be concerned. Biden won Michigan by about 100,000 votes, maybe a little bit more in 2020. And when you have 13% of the Democrats in Michigan say no, not happy, it has to be concerning. Now, I think the White House is heartened that they have 6 or 7, 8 months to reach out to these groups and try to, reestablish ties. But again, of course, the issue that animated these people is the war in Gaza. What they believe has been the White House's fairly unnuanced, uncritical support of Israel.
John Shaw, the director of the Paul Simon Public Policy Institute at SIU Carbondale, visiting with us today. And Biden ended up with 81.1% of the vote in the primary. Uncommitted ended up with 13.3%. Now, that is about 2 to 3% higher than Barack Obama. In 2012, there were over 10% uncommitted in that. So,
and we talked about the raw
protest
numbers.
vote.
Yeah, we talked about the raw numbers for Obama. That was about 20,000 uncommitted. For Joe Biden yesterday, it was more than 101,000. And again, we talked about the large population of Arab Americans in Michigan, and many of them are rallying along with Rashida Tlaib against the Biden administration's approach to the conflict between Israel and Hamas. And here's the thing, like you said, it's not numbers that should make you freak out. They're not panic inducing, but it's not the numbers themselves. It's not the raw numbers that I think is causing concern for the Democratic Party. It's what happened in 2016 with Hillary Clinton and the mistakes that she made that cost her a small number of votes that cost her the election in 2016. So it's that history in conjunction with the numbers, the levels of uncommitted Democrats in Michigan that's concerning the administration.
Yeah, I don't know how big of a deal it's going to be 6 months from now. Right now, these protest votes are happening. But when, as I've said before, when rubber hits the road, I don't think people are necessarily going to sit this out because they're going to see what their choices are. Yeah. And if you're an Arab American, or if you're somebody who's concerned about Palestine, you're concerned about the Palestinians in Gaza, you have to make a decision. Do you think Trump is going to be better for them, or is the current president going to be better for them? So when the decision has to be made, I'm not sure that yesterday matters as much. We'll see. I could be totally wrong about that. The cicadas are coming, Amy, and they're going to kill us all.
So we have Brood 13 and Brood 19 that are emerging this year. They will not all be coming out at the same place or time. So here in Missouri, we're going to be seeing Brood 19 come out in late April or May. And then in northern Illinois and some of those surrounding areas up there, they will see Brood 13. There's a possibility there could be a bit of an overlap, but mostly we're just going to see Brood 19 here.
That's Dr. Tamra Rial, also known as Dr. Bug from Mizzou.
And it was 1803, as we mentioned. That was the last year that the two broods emerged at the same time. And I may have suggested that in 1803, the abundance and noise and chaos of the cicadas, of the two broods emerging at the same time, that was the catalyst for Napoleon to sell the Louisiana Purchase to the United States.
Because all those bugs.
Yeah, because there were so many cicadas, he thought, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
We don't have this in France.
Yeah.
What is this nonsense? Because it's primarily a Midwest phenomenon. And that's why he sold the Purchase at such a great price to Thomas Jefferson. That probably is made up. You know, I don't think that's true, but it could be.
Isn't it true that Napoleon wasn't as short as everybody says he was?
That's right. That's what I have a friend from France.
Well,
I have a friend from France, and he is adamant that Napoleon was average, if not a little tall, for his time, and that he got the short moniker because in a British newspaper,
there was a cartoon.
There was
that
a
mocked him.
cartoon that made him, mocked him as being very short, and it stuck. So that's why you got to be careful with what cartoons are drawn about you, because apparently he was, if anything, tall for his time.
Also, Mitch McConnell, the Senate minority leader, the Senate GOP leader, announced that he will step down from that position in November.
So to my colleagues, thank you for entrusting me with our success. It's been an honor to work with each of you. There'll be plenty of time to express my gratitude in greater detail as I sprint towards the finish line, which is now in sight. I yield the floor.
So he's still going to serve out the rest of his term as a senator, which ends in 2026. But as far as being the Senate Republican leader, he's out.
You said you see this move as being motivated, of course, a bit by age, because we know he's ailing a bit, but I would say he's ailing a lot, but I'm saying his personal motivations. Do you see this as an age thing, or as the GOP, as it moves closer and closer to Trump, has left him behind?
I think for him, it's more of a health thing than anything else. I don't think he's in danger of losing a seat, but if you bring up Mitt Romney, there's a lot of disdain for him within the Republican base. Because he's been very critical of Trump, and they don't like that. And you can't be critical of Trump and keep your seat. So I think his is probably more influenced by politics. Am I going to win? Am I going to lose? Am I going to get primaried? That sort of thing, like Adam Kinzinger, like Liz Cheney, different Congress people we've seen lose their jobs because of it.
And I also think Mitt Romney, when he stepped down and he said he's been in this political position for a long time, that he is getting older. Would he have been 78?
Mitt?
Yeah. What was the age? It was flirting with 80, but that he would have been older and it was time to step down. And to be completely honest, even though you could argue that Mitt Romney seems to be in far better health than Mitch McConnell or Joe Biden, that he's stepping down, more of a normal reaction. Like, the party was definitely moving beyond Mitt.
Yeah.
Party hated Mitt. Go live a good life, Mitt. Go enjoy your family. To me, his decision to step down makes sense on every level.
I don't feel like I could operate within my own party any longer because it has gone so wackadoodle, I would absolutely get out.
And it's wackadoodle.
It is. You have these people who've been in the party for so long saying it that it's just gotten out of control.
And it's not like it's wackadoodle and he's 45 and he wants to make a long career. This guy has served his time. Go enjoy your family.
We pushed back poor Jen Cease because she said, hey, you really should take the Mitch McConnell press conference instead of talking city soccer. So we did at her request. So when we come back, we will talk about City SC and their loss last night and the beginning of the MLS season, which has just gotten underway. That is next on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Are you ready for a new you in the new year? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and we know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. Schedule your free consultation to meet with one of our health coaches who will determine which of our custom weight loss programs is right for you. Visit moweightloss.com now to schedule your free in-person or virtual consultation.
This is Debbie Monterey, and I just want to thank St. Louis Weight Loss Secret for making my 40-pound weight loss seemingly effortless. I mean, I did put in the work, but I followed the plan from St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I lost 20 pounds in a month, 30 pounds in 2 months, 40 pounds altogether. And now I am working on maintaining that weight loss because I don't want to go back to the way I was before. If you would like to lose that weight, go to moweightloss.com. It's St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, 314-207-8600.
Many people lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For a new you in the new year, call for your free weight loss consultation. 314-207-8600. That's 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com. That's moweightloss.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. Onderlaw has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 5 gigabyte data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
As an educator, Mr. Nelson's teachings are still being quoted in schools.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world.
Mr. Nelson taught hope.
Everyone can rise above their circumstances if they are dedicated and passionate.
And giving our best efforts.
It's always impossible until it's done.
Mr. Nelson Mandela's teachings not only united a nation, they inspire us today. Inspiration. Pass it on from passiton.com.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you why pay more than $4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many markets' ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-ALL-4s. And remember, why pay more than $4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
It's Tom Ackerman. Is your bath or shower ready for an update? Probably. I mean, it's probably old, outdated, maybe even has a little mold or mildew or broken tiles. It's time to call the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. Great chance to save some money, too. If you call today, you'll get $1,000 off a new shower or bath. Start online at thebathauthority.com. A better bath awaits.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
Rich Orris hosts the KMOX Home Improvement Show, presented by Mosby Building Arts. Saturday at 11 on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Restart, Kowalczyk floated to the top of the 18. Sviatchenko got ahead. Now he gets a shot and he scores. Roman Berkey got a piece with the fingertips, but it flutters into the side net. 60th minute, Houston up 1-0.
That's the goal that would do it. That's it, baby. Unfortunately for City SC, a loss to the Houston Dynamo last night, a game that started at like 11:30 p.m. basically. But they lose. They're out of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We are joined now on the Quiver River Electric guest line this afternoon by Jen Cease, co-host of the St. Louis City Soccer Report here on KMOX. Good afternoon, Jen.
Good afternoon. I appreciate the break. I could take a nap since it's nap day.
That's right. And it is national. And thank you for allowing us to preempt you for Mitch McConnell.
Yep.
And Amy and I We don't know what CONCACAF stands for, so we have a couple of guesses.
I have an educated
tell us
guess.
if we're right. Amy, you go
Okay, this
first.
is what I think it is, Jen. It's
Okay, go for it.
Okay, CONCACAF is the competition of non-competitive athletes competing athletically in football.
Great guess.
Is that correct?
Is that right?
It's close. It's so close. It's
Okay.
the Confederation.
No, don't say it. Don't say it, because I have a guess too.
Okay, sorry.
CONCACAF. I think does it stand for taking a seashell and hitting a baby cow?
That's it.
Oh my gosh!
What? of all the things, that's what you have?
That's all I have.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, and it's not about the plague or the pancake state either.
Okay. All right.
So
what does it stand for?
Tell us.
Confederation of North, Central America, and Caribbean Association Football.
And also, it doesn't matter.
I don't
for
know
us
if that's any. I don't know if CONCACAF makes it any shorter.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore because we're out. So
Yeah.
City SC lost last night in aggregate. Same amount of goals, but I guess because they scored on the road, Houston gets to move on. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's stupid. So in last night's game, it seemed like passing was an issue. It seemed like there was a whole lot of passing to nobody. What was going on?
Yeah, City actually had issues with that with Real Salt Lake as well. So City's never been, if you look at the stats, one team versus another, City is usually 1, lower in possession rate, 2, also lower in passing, which means they're very direct. They are happy to let you have the ball and I will take it from you and we will go score. But they were not connecting, like you just said, their passes. So from the midfield point, when you're looking to get out of defense and into offense, a lot of times those weren't connecting. And that can either be from the passer not putting enough pace and weight on the pass, or 2, we cannot forget the people who are getting passed to have the job to get open and win that ball. And we could see that a number of times last night.
So they're great at the counterattack, like a quick turnaround. But when it comes to ball possession, that's something we didn't see a lot of last year.
That's right. Yeah, they tend to be a bit like, I think what I'm trying to remember our sweet spot when Dale and I would talk about it, but there was this like sweet spot, maybe somewhere around 60%-ish possession rate, maybe a little bit low. Actually, no, it was lower than that, maybe 40%. So they're usually very comfortable having a lower possession rate because they're going to make it hurt when we get possession and go straight to goal, very direct. And so far, a couple of teams have been able to kind of box City out of that and use it against them.
So City SC so far, we've seen the results. They tied the other night in their MLS debut. We know what happened with the CONCACAF Cup. So 3 games. What have we seen, or what have you seen so far? Because everybody wants to compare them to the team last year that got off to that terrific start.
Yeah, I mean, so one, obviously, we're not bright and shiny and new. There's a ton of just, when you're the new kid, when you have like 0 to prove, but everything to show for, I think that quote frees up your play a little bit. Nobody expects anything of you. So you can play as free as you want and everything's pretty much gravy as long as you're halfway decent. Well, City far exceeded that. I mean, to the nth degree. So now they're coming in and even though all of them will talk about, and they do, we need to have realistic expectations. You don't win them all. I think there is some pressure there. There's some pressure. They actually haven't done bad. They've got a win, they've got a tie, and they've got a loss 3 games out. The one is a tie. They picked up a point in the MLS regular season, which is where they'll stay. There is, like you said, no more Champions Cup. They will not participate in Open Cup. Some of the MLS teams will not participate in that. So there may be Leagues Cup, but mostly they get to focus on MLS regular season play. And they're also a little bit different. They came into the season not quite as prepared, and that has a lot to do with the transfers. I think last season, everybody was pretty much locked down in an apartment or in a home. We still had Thomas Totland living out a hotel as season began. He was just moving in. So there are a lot of moving pieces coming into this season, and I think that hurt.
Are MLS players just used to the mid-season tournaments that they play in, and that doesn't disrupt their mentality, their approach to the regular season? Because when I think of the other major sports like baseball or hockey, even something like the Olympics every 4 years is so disruptive. And I know players can enjoy it, but ownership struggles with it. Is that just the name of the game with MLS, that you'll have all of these midseason tournaments?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's really the nature of soccer worldwide. So it being an international sport, we don't see it, of course, maybe on the hockey side, but I don't think we see it in baseball, of course, or football. You don't have simultaneous concurrent running competitions. You have only the competition. So it is a soccer deal worldwide, which is actually probably one of the reasons, I can't speak for the MLS, wanted to pull their first teams out of the Open Cup, which was not well received. It's the oldest national tournament running in the United States. So they're not going to send all the teams because of some of these issues. So I think for MLS players, they know it's a part of the grind. Also, you have to speak about the coaching staff. They know they have to you can't just plan for a game each weekend when you're in these cups. You're planning for a game on a Tuesday night at, dark 30 or a Wednesday night. Had City won, they would have not only been playing this Saturday for MLS, they would have also been playing at Wednesday for CONCACAF again, and then again the following Saturday for MLS. So it's a grind, and, I would think hockey is probably somewhat similar. It's a sport that's just brutal on the legs, of course, and lungs.
Jen, I asked Dale, asked Joey about this, Nate Gatter, your partner on Sundays, about this team, just a general overview, and I'll get your thoughts on it. Is this still a playoff team?
Yeah, I think they are a playoff team. I think that Coach Carnell is not to be underestimated when it comes to the way Coach rotates, and he's quite possibly changed the face of MLS in terms of not just having the starting, quote, 11, 12, or 13, rotating, and that ability to do that, I think, will pay dividends toward the end of the season. Do I think they'll be number one at the top of the Western Conference? Maybe no. But we also know that being number one at the top of the Western Conference didn't really serve them as well as they had hoped to. They had a little bit more break. It was the 7th or the 8th place team that barely scraped its way in, like in Kansas City, that started out kind of rough in their season, and they proved up and grew over the grind. So I think when there is something to be said about when you start and it's not all goals and gravy and just greatness, that it possibly makes you a better contender for the MLS finals there. So yeah, I think they're going to be in. I think they definitely have a chance. I don't think they'll probably be the top team, and I think that would be okay.
St. Louis City Soccer Report here on KMOX on Sundays. Yes, what time?
Well, no. So we switch over to Thursday nights in March.
Thursday nights.
So,
Why didn't somebody tell me?
That's right. So unless something changes, with all the sports KMOX runs, sometimes Nate and I are like, when are we on? So our first show back will be March. What is that? What is the first in March? I'm trying to look at my calendar right now. So March, is it 4th or it's March 7th?
Oh.
7th. So March 7th will be our first show back, and we'll follow Sports Open Lines. We'll follow Matt Pauley and go from 8 to 10 and talk all things soccer.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Jen. We appreciate your time as always. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, you guys, and I'm not going to eat any cicadas.
Man.
Give it a shot.
Oh, no, don't do it, Jen.
Jen Cease, co-host of the St. Louis City Soccer Report, their first show, March 7th. They come back Thursday night. Hey, let's tell you about your life, because I know you think it sucks, but we're here to tell you it is better than you think.
It is.
We'll tell you why next on KMOX.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
At 12:30, wind 37 degrees downtown at the Arch. News from the Senate. Here's CBS's Steve Kafen.
Mitch McConnell, the Kentucky Republican who's been the longest-serving Senate leader in history, just announced he'll step down from the post in November.
Father Time remains undefeated. I'm no longer the young man sitting in the back, hoping colleagues would remember my name. It's time for the next generation of leadership.
The 82-year-old McConnell plans to serve out his Senate term. CBS's Nicole Killian says he's had health issues and policy disagreements.
He hasn't always, as of late, kind of been on the same page as some members of his conference, and some have raised some criticisms about that and factor in his age. Perhaps he has made this decision.
Sunny, blustery, and colder today with a high of about 40. Real feel temperatures in the teens and 20s. Overnight, low 26. Tomorrow, high 53. At the moment, 37 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Now, a Cardinals spring training report. Sponsored by Wilkie Window and Door, Norm's Bargain Barn, and St. Louis Composting. On your home of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
The Cardinals are in Port St. Lucie today, matched up against the Mets. Miles Michaelis is making his first start of Grapefruit League play. Michaelis is looking for a bounce-back season, and for manager Oliver Marmol, it's as simple as Michaelis executing his pitches.
This is a guy that takes pride in being able to locate his pitches and throw any pitch in any count, kind of it being his mantra, but being able to execute, chase locations is a big part of it.
In number news, with the Cardinals signing Brandon Crawford, he is now wearing the number 35 jersey, with Jose Fermin switching to the number 15. With the Cardinals spring training report from Port St. Lucie, Florida, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Sound Physicians of Illinois, LLC, DBA Sound Physicians of Missouri 3, have multiple openings for hospitalist physicians in Bridgeton, Missouri. Some of the job duties include to diagnose, treat, and provide general intern medicine and inpatient care for hospitalized adult patients. Must possess or be eligible to possess a valid state license to practice medicine in Missouri and have completed 3 years of residency training in family or internal medicine. Medical degree or foreign equivalent required. To apply, email Maggie McClooney at belong@soundphysicians.com.
Regulated activities performed by a licensed affiliate.
I had no idea I could sell my life insurance policy.
Norman and Nancy Duggan for Coventry Direct.
We were about to let Norman's policy lapse because premiums have become expensive. Our kids are doing well on their own, so we just don't need it anymore.
Then Nancy called Coventry.
They were so helpful, answering all of our questions.
If you're over 65 and have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify.
After this past year, we're celebrating life. We've booked some long overdue travel, and we're able to pay for our grandkids' college.
Coventry Direct has helped thousands live the life they want to live. Pay for unplanned medical expenses or supplement retirement income. When it comes to selling your life insurance, Coventry has you covered. Call 1-800-561-2600 or visit CoventryDirect.com to learn more about how you can get cash by selling your life insurance. Call 1-800-561-2600.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Dive into all things Cardinals on Cardinals Conversations, your go-to location for exclusive content from KMOX. Catch it on the Odyssey app or your favorite podcast platform. Stay connected with your team. Cardinals Conversations, where the Redbird talk never stops.
Complains about how awful her life is. It's all she ever does. She talks about, oh, everything sucks. I hate this. I hate that. I'm getting married. Anyway. However.
No, life is only bad.
Okay, stop.
When you're here and when the office smells like burning plastic.
It did smell like burning plastic, and I think we're all high still.
A little bit.
It's the Chris and Amy show on KMOX, and it is time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. Dr. Tali Sharot is the professor of cognitive neuroscience at University College London and MIT, founder and director of the Effective Brain Lab. Dr. Sharot is with us now on KMOX. We appreciate your time. How you doing?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. So just people, a lot of times, if you ask them how things are going, if they're being honest, they'll tell you, not so great. But you believe that things are a little bit better than that.
Well, I think the point that we're making, which we're making in our book, Look Again, is that there are a lot of good things that we do have in our life. Maybe you have a loving relationship, a comfortable home, or an interesting job, but those things seem to have less impact on our happiness than they should, right? So we do have these good things, but they don't really make us as happy or produce as much joy as we think they should. And we think that the reason for that, or at least one of the reasons, is what's known as habituation. So habituation is our tendency to respond less and less and less to things around us that are constant, that don't change. We kind of stop noticing these things, good and bad, and we have less of a response to them. So, if you think about when you first met your partner, right, it was pure joy and happiness. But over time, of course, you get used to it, and the joy and happiness maybe is not as large as it was before.
Right. So it's that kind of excitement of something new or little things that you appreciate. You start to take them for granted in the same way that, this is a very simple example, but if someone lives in Florida, lives on the beach, can go to the beach all the time, maybe starts to take that for granted, sees the beach in a different way than I would if I were to go there for a vacation and dig my toes into the sand and realize how great it is.
Yeah, and in fact, even when you go on vacation, what our data shows is that when people go on vacation, the peak joy is in fact 42 hours into their vacation. 42 hours gives them the time to settle in and really focus on fun. But that point on, their joy starts dwindling, right? And so it's not that they're not happy on days 6, 5, and 7 or 8. They're still happy, but they're not as happy as they are 43 or 42 hours in. And the other interesting thing is that we ask people, what was the best part of the vacation? The word that they use more than any other word is first. The first view of the ocean, the first cocktail, right? Firsts are new and exciting. The second view of the ocean is still good, but it's not as good as that first, right? The second cocktail, the third cocktail, even the fifth cocktail is good, but not as good as that first. So even when you go to somewhere new, it is more exciting at the beginning and brings you more joy in the beginning. And then slowly, within maybe a few days, you notice it less, it brings you less joy.
How does habituation compare, well, ironically, how is habituation different than comparison? You know, the phrase comparison is the thief of joy, and we're always like, thinking it could be better. That habituation is totally different than that, correct?
Yeah, so habituation relates to how you respond to things that are constant or frequent. You're not necessarily comparing it to something else, right? You're just responding less because, it makes sense. Your brain has already processed it, right? So it doesn't feel the need to process it again, so it responds less. It's a little bit like you go into a room full of fresh roses. When you first enter the room, the smell is quite salient. You really notice it, right? But actually, studies show that within 20 minutes, you might not even detect the smell any longer. Or a similar example, you buy a new perfume. This happens a lot. And you spritz it on, and you can really smell it quite strongly. The second day, less so. The third day, less so. A month goes by, and actually, most people cannot actually perceive the smell of their perfume because neurons in the brain, in this case, it's what's known as olfactory neurons, they simply stop responding. So it's not necessarily that you're comparing either consciously or unconsciously the smell of the perfume or the roses to any other smell. It's simply a very fundamental kind of rule that our brain goes by, which is we process things, and after a while, if they don't change, we stop processing them.
So what do you do if you find yourself not enjoying these little things or not noticing? You go on vacation and you come back and you're supposed to feel like, oh gosh, I miss being home. This was great that I got to come. This is my own bed and I'm happy to be here. What if you're somebody that doesn't have that feeling, that you dread coming back home and you get home from your vacation, you think, ugh, I got to go to work tomorrow?
Yeah. Okay. Well, one kind of thing that we suggest is breaking up your good experiences into smaller bits. So, for example, let me give you an example of experiment that was done, and then how do we kind of apply that to our real world, to our real life. So there was an experiment that was done where people were asked to think about a song that they really like. So think about a song that you liked, and then they were asked, would you rather listen to this song from beginning to end, no interruptions, or would you rather have little breaks in the song every 20 or 30 seconds? There'll be a little interruption, and then you continue to listen. So it seems very intuitive. Everyone said, well, I don't want an interruption. I want to listen to the song from beginning to end, right? Makes sense. But when they actually tested it, they found that those people who listened to the song with interruptions actually enjoyed it more. It's very counterintuitive, but the reason is if you experience something just without any interruptions, it's really good at the beginning, like the song. You really enjoyed it at the beginning, and then your joy starts going down a little bit over time. You still enjoy it, but not as much. But if I break up your good experiences into bits, well, every time there is a break, the joy when you listen to the music comes on again goes back up. So overall, you enjoy things more with breaks, which is not something that we kind of are conscious of. They did the same thing with massages. So people enjoyed a massage more when it had breaks than when it was no interruptions. Again, really surprising. So when it comes, for example, to vacations, perhaps one thing that people may consider is to have more frequent and shorter vacations rather than one long ones, right? If you have these shorter, more frequent ones, then you get more of these firsts. You get more of these 42 or 43 hours in. And the other thing you get, and this answers your question, is you get what we call afterglows. So when people go for vacation, not only do they usually enjoy the vacation, they also get a boost of their joy when they come back home. They might, a lot of people, when they come back home, there's good things that they missed at home. But even if there isn't, you get this afterglow. You still have this kind of joy of coming back. You also, interestingly, have happiness goes up before you even go on vacation because you're already anticipating the joy. So if you have lots of these small vacations, you'll have more of this kind of anticipation and more of the afterglow.
Outside of going on vacation, what could our listeners take away from this conversation? What could they do to help break up the habituation so that they enjoy their daily life a little bit more?
Yeah, so there's three things. One is break up good experiences into bits. If there's something that you enjoy, maybe it's just watching a TV show, right? Don't watch all the episodes one after the other, right? Kind of savor it. So break up the good experiences into bits. On the other hand, if you have some aversive task that you need to complete, maybe it's a household chore, maybe it's some admin work. In fact, it will be better for you to just do it all in one go. Don't have breaks if it's something bad, because then the habituation will help you get through the bad things, because you'll feel less and less bad over time because of habituation. And then the other thing that you may want to consider is introducing some variety and some diversity into your life. So if you kind of shake up your world, perhaps you interact with the different types of people, you work on different projects, you take a course outside of what your work experience is, learn a new skill. This kind of diversification actually helps counter habituation. And it's shown that people who have more diverse life, they have more of a psychologically richer life, and actually overall experience more happiness. By creating variety and diversity in our life, we're putting ourselves in a position of learning. You need to learn about the new environment that you're in, the new people you're interacting with. And studies show that people actually get a lot of joy from learning, more so than from material goods. There's a study showing where people get money, they're quite happy, but in fact, they're even happier when they learn something new.
You kind of touched on this a little bit with habituation. Does it also help then with really difficult situations and help us not to feel the pain so sharply in the same way that it makes us not quite feel the enjoyment as much?
Yeah, so you're right. So mostly we talked so far about how you habituate to the good stuff and you feel less joy because of it. But you also habituate to the bad stuff, right? If it's a breakup or a loss, and even smaller things that, are difficult, even if it's just an annoying noise in the background, the AC noise, over time, we stop kind of noticing these things as much. They don't have as much of an emotional impact on us. And so we do habituate to the bad stuff. Now, on one hand, this is great, right? We don't want to continue feeling the pain that's really strong at the beginning, right? It's good that the pain goes down over time. It's good that if there's kind of a noise in the background, we habituate to it. On the other hand, it also means that we might not notice the not great things in our life that we could actually change, both in our life and in society. We habituate to a lot of things. Maybe it's racism, sexism, a little kind of like breaks in our personal relationships or inefficiencies in the workplace. If we habituate to these things, we notice them less and then we don't try to change. So there's kind of a balance here, right? On one hand, you do want to habituate to the good stuff, to the bad stuff, so you don't feel the pain. On the other hand, if there's something we can change, we actually want to be able to notice it. So we're motivated to change it.
That's all really good stuff. We appreciate the conversation today, Dr. Sherritt. And I promise I'll do better when I come into work every day to be happy that I get to see Amy. And I take a break every single day by going home, and then when I come back, I'll appreciate that she's here. Is that the point?
Yeah, you might also imagine your life without her. Close your eyes, imagine your life without her.
Oh, I do
really with vividness and detail. Then open your eyes, and then you will feel gratitude.
Hey, I do that every night. Every night. That's why I'm so happy to come to work. Hey, Dr. Sherritt, thank you. This was fun.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Dr. Tali Sherritt, professor of cognitive neuroscience at University College London and MIT, and founder and director of the Effective Brain Lab here on KMOX. That's some really good stuff.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It's so interesting. It is something I notice it with like my parents' house. If you grow up there and then you don't go for a while and then you go back, you notice little comforting, cozy things about the house, or even where you live. Like, oh man, I really like this. I love the park, Forest Park. You take it for granted until you're gone for a while.
When I'm away visiting friends, I've noticed this does happen to me where I think back, I kind of miss my place.
Yeah.
Like I do. And it's always a weird feeling when it happens, but it does feel good.
Yeah.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. You've got KMOX.
Every 2 weeks, you get a paycheck. Let's face it, you actually count on that paycheck and you plan your life around it. But what happens in retirement? Well, that's where Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group come in. They can show you by creating a custom retirement plan and show you how you can create a guaranteed income stream for retirement. Find out more about guaranteed income in retirement and attend one of our upcoming events on March 5th or March 7th at Cooper's Hawk. These events are complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services offered through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor firm. All Insurance Group, LLC and IPW are not affiliated firms. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Insurance and annuity product guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Hey, have you saved more than $300,000 in an IRA or 401k? You may not realize it now, but you've got a big problem on your hands. And that problem is taxes. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on these accounts in retirement in a one-night adult education class, Retirement Planning 101. It's held at colleges and universities throughout Greater St. Louis and Southern Illinois. And it's hosted by financial and tax architects, your retirement professors. In just 3 hours, you'll benefit from decades of financial planning experience on taxes, healthcare, Social Security, investing for income, and more. If you've saved at least $300,000 for retirement, register now by calling 314-626-8817. You'll pay zero tuition for the class. So call 314-626-8817.
Advisory services offered through Financial and Tax Architects, an SEC registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Financial and Tax Architects.
Are you the best fan in St. Louis baseball? KMOX and Rawlings are going to celebrate you, the loyal fans, all season long. Each week we'll highlight a new fan and prove why St. Louis has the best fans in baseball. Feature Weekly fans will pick up a pair of tickets to an upcoming game and $100 to Rawlings. Want to enter? Head to KMOX.com/contest. Just upload a photo of you decked out in your game day attire. The best fans in baseball. Presented by KMOX and Rawlings, the mark of a pro.
McKelvey Homes is offering huge savings on 12 market homes at the Preserve in Afton. Savings up to $80,000 and special McKelvey financing of 5.99%, 30-year fixed, or 4.875% in first year with our 2-1 buydown. Choose from their carefree villas with a sale price of $486,000 to our luxurious designer series on wooded estate lots. Several are ready for immediate move-in. Hurry, these deals won't last long. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Warmer spring weather is right around the corner, and now is the time to plan your home's exterior renovation project. Banner Construction is booking now for homeowners to be first in line for beautiful James Hardy siding and Pella replacement windows. Beat the price increases and plan your project now. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 and get a free in-home design and estimate. 314-569-1050 and have a banner day.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $20 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-973-3097 and you are guaranteed a $20 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3097. Call now and you will receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3097 now to secure your $20 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3097.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members, FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. That's ramp.com/free.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
The first new brick-and-mortar standalone Genesis showroom in Missouri is about to open, and you will have to see it to believe it. It is luxury at its finest in St. Charles County. As we anxiously await the official opening, you can still purchase your Genesis today at St. Charles Hyundai. And right now, there's a $1,000 incentive on the 2024 GV80 through the end of the month. It's Genesis of St. Charles, a quarter-mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70, or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
Amy Mark scores.
This is my show, my microphone.
On KMOX.
I love a good audio clip, Chris.
You love
Fonzie.
audio clips? Is that what you
I
said?
love a good audio clip.
Tell me about it.
And last night, Sean Hannity was pretty upset with President Joe Biden's proposed trip to the southern border.
Which is tomorrow, right?
I think it is tomorrow.
Yeah, because today's Wednesday,
Yeah.
so it's tomorrow.
Yeah. And I want you to listen closely to this clip of Hannity really going after Biden for going to the border.
It is nothing in the case of Biden on Thursday, a cynical, sick political stunt by the president. And frankly, it is beyond disgraceful. We will be at the border with President Trump on Thursday. His policies actually work.
Can you play it again? This is Sean Hannity talking about.
It is nothing in the case of Biden on Thursday, a cynical, sick political stunt by the president. And frankly, it is beyond disgraceful. We will be at the border with President Trump on Thursday. His policies
so
actually
good.
work.
It's kind of funny.
So good.
It's funny. Now, I get if before people get all
The
in a
irony.
tizzy. Yeah, I know.
It's just so good.
The point that he was making is that Joe Biden, it's a stunt
Yeah.
to go to the border because his policies, he has no policy regarding the border.
Except for that
It's-
border bill. that
effectively
is out there
open
to be
policy.
signed.
It's hypocritical of him to go there. But just the juxtaposition of him going
So
to the
good.
border is disgusting and disgraceful. We'll be at the border on
Oh
Thursday
my
with
God.
President Trump. Pretty funny.
I know it's not the same thing, but for whatever reason, it reminds me of that Philadelphia sports writer or podcast host or something. And it was around 9/11.
Jeez.
And I think it happened within the last few years. And he's talking about what a horrible day it was. 9/11, it was horrible. And tragic day, and it was tough for everybody. It's not tough. Spectrum Mobile is not what? He went into a read to a live ad.
Oh
It's so good. I gotta bring that. We'll play it tomorrow. I gotta find it. It's so good.
That's pretty good. We should do like smooth transitions. You like jazz? You like smooth jazz?
What a great transition.
Oh.
Sick political stunt to go to the border.
We'll be at
the border on Thursday with President Trump. What a joke. It's Chris and Amy. Everything you missed on the Odyssey app, download it, listen to it, baby. KMOX.com. Back with you tomorrow at 10 o'clock right here on KMOX.
Hi, I'm Ann Williams, General Manager of Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. We are an award-winning senior living community that's been voted Best Independent Living by